Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. Before we get on with tonight's broadcast, we have a couple of things that we need to cover. First of which being just to do a little bit of show promo and housekeeping. If you like the show, please consider becoming a Twitch sub or joining us on Patreon. Twitch subs get access to all of our wonderful emotes, and patrons give us the biggest slice of the pie with loads of behind the scenes access and other cool fun things, including downloadable copies of, for example, this royalty free soundtrack that you're hearing that we created and things like that. There's lots of cool things that helps us create these broadcasts and continue making D&D for you and your eyeballs. Other than that, if you want a podcast format, please consider checking us out wherever you get podcasts, including on Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser. There is so many other places, but YouTube as well. Check out the YouTube versions. And if you're on those platforms, even if you listen via Twitch, consider rating or liking or turning on your auto downloaders. All of those things really help us get to other people and increase the size of this community. So those are the good things that you can do. Anyway, it's been 2 weeks, so I'm gonna not hesitate, and we're going to get on with tonight's broadcast. So, we return this week. I shall do the recap, as it's been a while, and we had some pertinent things to cover. In not too distant history, the Skyfire Adventuring Company had been through a large mound, honestly, of turmoil. After losing their fabled skyship in a battle against a dragon made of pure dark purple crystal at the Second Great Summit, those who remained in the company and didn't have other pressing matters to deal with a ceasefire, with a war, with other tasks, returned eventually to Lagerungsland. After hashing out a tentative peace with the true fate of the world on the line now, they returned to Lagerungsland and sought about trying to discover where next to advance their progress against beating back this cabal of ancient draconic cultists that were trying to bring about the end of the world. They were set on a task to find the blood of the king that never was, the fabled hero whose story closed the previous chapter on this world's history and allowed for mortal kind to take over. But their journey would be perilous into a large chain of islands called the Shattered Shields, where time and reality began to warp the deeper they got into the archipelago. Eventually, after completing tasks set before them by seemingly the gods, our fabled adventurers made it to the center, to the remainders of a city, in which they found the location of the previous Great Summit, a monolithic Parthenon, where they found not only the blood of the hero, but a shard of cosmium, the great metal forged by the dwarven god Indar, the Thundersmith, that was used to make many of the seals that protected this realm. From the little help of Ulfric the Bard Scholar, a almost demigod-like creature entity that had somewhat been guiding this party's path for as long as they can remember now, but not really realizing it, they returned once more, again to Legrand's land. This time, taking a moment to finally settle a long-standing issue that had been burning deep within one of the hearts of our party members. After being given a token by Ulfric the Bard Scholar, our very own Anrayne Sunderstar was handed the opportunity to once again reforge her soul. And in this moment of downtime, the party took it, with Anrayne, Breton, Valymr, and an old friend in Zedaar finally confronting the inner demon, so to speak, of our famous Phoenix sorcerer, and once again defeating it, recombining the soul of Anrayne. Where we left off, however, is with our party once more being requested and sequestered for aid from an old friend, this time the mentor of Breton, our faithful Oath of the Watcher's paladin, whose old master knight that he was training under and in service to finally showed his face after many years of being almost incontactable, reporting that not all was well within Nardarfell, and that the cultists, as we spoke of before, had begun to rear their ugly head again, this time forcing through what seemed to be a plague, but more importantly, the Chevalier Argent, a fabled ghostly knight, had been seen roaming the lands again. This fabled knight was actually the guardian of a seal, and if they are roaming free, the whereabouts or knowledge of what's happened to said seal is unknown. And once more, there's a chance that the world sits on the knife edge of the apocalypse, and the Skyfire Adventuring Company are being set to sort it out. So, we left off with you all in a tavern discussing plans and having a drink with Breton's old master before returning to the Festung, the central building of the city where, in Russian, where government happens, and also the Iron Duke lives. Party, what would you like to do though at this time? Because you were, yeah, you were going to try and set out the next day, I believe, in the morning to Nardarfell. Was there anything you needed to sort out before you left, though?
The Iron Duke is hard at work, working on the seal, at least the shell of it that he's going to be working on, and he is relatively safe in mission. I believe we were going to go to the tree where we first fought one of the elven assassins that came after us when we were traveling from the Rian into Nardarfell the first time.
Yeah. That was where you were going to try and teleport to, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anybody, this is like final call for if you need to do anything in Russian?
I don't think so.
Okay. Before you go, Ruby, you're actually summoned to the Iron Duke.
Oh, okay.
Who?
Are we there?
Shish, this won't take long. I have been developing something. With the loss of your skyship and with your more stabilized powers, I've been wondering if you could... I've been working on something that might be of benefit to you and the party. In terms of us providing you with aid and getting your friends back together should the time arise. And he hands you a belt. Like no, not a bell, a belt.
Oh, belt. Okay.
It's like a thin, it's like a dark black leather belt with like metal plates, like squares, all around it.
And a bell on it.
There is now a bell on it. And like each of these plates has a rune. Make me an Arcana check, if you would.
The bell gives you -1 to stealth checks.
Yeah, that's the downside to it, clearly.
17.
17. Yeah, you recognize this instantaneously. It looks like that it's almost a teleportation circle. It's like there's like a teleportation. It's the very sort of same symbolage as a teleportation circle. This is a teleportation locator. It is only accessible by myself and anyone who has the sequence. However, it uses some of the same magic that I use with my own teleports in here, in the castle. Basically, you will have to confirm the connection should you wish something or someone to be teleported to you, and you'll notice one of the he goes to cast like basically he's got like a small like cake. It's another thing. He teleports. He casts teleport on it because you can teleport objects. And then suddenly you see one of the sigils on the belt glows.
Huh.
And if you simply he like waves over, like he like presses down on it, and the cake like he like does a downward motion on it, and the cake appears in front of him. But he teleports the cake again, and like a different the same sigil lights up. But if you swipe the other way, the glowing of the sigil, it went, for example, it went blue when he accepted. It then went, he wipes the other way, does a motion to wipe the other way, and it goes red, and the cake returns to where it was being teleported from. So it's a denial system.
To me, or can this go to and from?
This only, sadly, this I can't. This is just a. The circle is tied to the belt. The belt cannot teleport people. It is a.
I understand.
It works like a circle. It's not a teleporter. Although that is something I am definitely working on. Anywho.
Well, thank you. This will make, if I ever need to go fetch Zedaar or Reynard...
It will make us sending you supplies and help and aid much smoother.
Are you the only one who can send things to this so far?
Anyone who has the sequence.
The sequence.
You are the only person, only the person wearing the belt. It's not an attuned. You do not need to attune it, but only the person in possession of the belt can accept or deny requests.
Okay.
It also has a small speaker in the back that those making requests to come through can send a simple message through. And also
that if somebody is talking through it, they're talking out of Ruby's ass. Sorry.
It depends on which way you face the belt.
I've not noticed any difference.
And it will light up if it's an object or person, depending on the side of the body, essentially.
Okay.
And when it teleports in, doesn't that cake didn't appear in the middle of the belt. It was like up to the side.
No. So it's the same way as how teleport works. It tries to find the. It's a presence. It will find the 10 foot around.
Hopefully not in the middle of the air, because otherwise that's be a really waste of cake.
I hope you do not accept someone to teleport onto you whilst you are flying in the middle of the air. That would be rather reckless of you.
Or underwater. Looks at Valymr.
He's fine. He's a warlock. He doesn't get teleport.
If you're there, I'm not there, so I don't really care.
True.
Exactly.
Anyway, so you have that item. So add to your inventory the belt of gating.
You have added, or I need to add it?
If you could just note it down.
Yep. I got it.
The belt of gating. Cool.
Got it.
Other than that,
magic item, no attunement required.
You'll get a good night's rest.
Dun, 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 dun.
And as you organized, in the morning, Breton's old master meets you at the gate of the festival.
Would you like to go with us?
That was the plan.
Very well. Breton, Valymr, are you ready?
Sure.
It's over.
All right. Let's see if I get this right. This is the first time I've translocated where I don't know specifically what to do.
Yes. So, do you have anything from that place? What do you have to offset the negatives of teleport here?
Other than having been there and fought there.
Okay.
And it is memorable because that is the first place we fought the elves to a great degree.
Yes, it is.
I mean, how much of a rush are we in here?
It would take us almost 3 weeks, I think, to walk.
Not quite 3 weeks, but it would be a relatively long time because you'd have to go all the way into Compound and down, or you'd have to go via the coast.
This place was fairly close to Margwin. It'd be far easier to get to Margwin. How close is it to the capital of Nardathel? You have a teleportation sequence right there. How many days would it be to walk from there? Like, is it worth us risking a few extra days just to guarantee we get where we're going?
So if you go to Gervalu, it would be like just under a week's ride. If you go to Margwin, if you can directly get to Margwin, it's like 4 days, because you've got to go over the mountains.
Rather than the worst happening and us ended up, 2 weeks outside of where we're going, we could just go to Margwin and walk the 3 days. We're not going to lose much time.
Yeah.
Well, we traveled through Cormont. That's relatively close, too.
Cormont's where you're trying to head.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Where did we have that fight in the cathedral?
That was way...
That was Arte.
That was near Arte.
Okay.
Could it have been...
I have something from there.
Could it have been that Ruby has been through this area a number of times with her family on their way to Gervalu? Or any of the other towns along the main road, Dante, Trelion, Alchatil?
I point out Margwin because Breton's sword is from Margwin, so we can basically guarantee getting there.
Well, your sword's from Galenfoss, which is on top of Margwin.
It's from it is basically there.
Yes, you're from a border town there. You all would have gone through Cormont, so it is pretty familiar. It's just you don't have a target option.
Is it seen casually on the list or very familiar?
I would say it's seen casually because you've been there probably 5 or 6 times in your entire lifetime. So it's it's not like you're from there. It's not like it's your hometown. It's technically it's like saying. So for me, I'm from the south of the UK. It's I've been to Blackpool once, same country, but my familiarity is I spent a week there when I was 10.
We'll go to Modwin.
I have a question. We picked up my glaive in Modwin, but
Below
I
it.
presume it wasn't made
Yes.
there.
No, it was not. It's from Kaitang.
It's from Kaitang. Would my... If it was the case that we wanted to use the glaive to teleport, would that allow us to get to Modwin, or would it just be allow us to get to Kaitang?
Ruby is very familiar with Modwin, courtesy of Breton, and just being there recently.
Oh, I'm not saying to use it now. I'm just curious mechanically and stuff.
I believe because you have it from Modwin, it would be drawing you to Modwin. Because I believe it's down to the caster's association with the item, not necessarily where the item itself was manufactured. In the same way that if you pick up a pebble from the beach, that pebble is probably not from that beach, but it would help you locate a beach. If that beach instead. Otherwise, it might just drag you underwater. Which
Sounds fucking terrifying. I'll remove all pebbles from my vicinity.
yeah, because it's about an associated object. It's the object's association. Like for you, you have that association with it. Would be Modwin would be the association, whereas the item itself wasn't technically created there.
If I pick something up in Modwin, and then, or say the glaive, and I then learn more about the glaive, where it's from, where it was, can I like change my association with it if I learn about its history, about the Shadow Prince?
Yes, I think that would kind of work, because again, it's about basically the spell's power comes from the caster's association, and it's kind of like the caster's knowledge improves the accuracy of the spell, because the idea of it is the caster is trying to essentially craft the path of the teleport. So it's about all of their pooled associations, their knowledge, their sights, their memory, to then go. Have you seen that film? Is it Looper Jumper, where like he teleports by memory? Like I've seen this play, and he can look at a picture and go Jumper. That's the one. Thank you. I really like that film.
Hayden Christensen and Sam Jackson.
Yes, Hayden Christensen and Sam Jackson. I thought was a decent film. It wasn't very.
A film.
It is a film.
It was meant to get Hayden Christensen back up on his feet because after how anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of that concept. It's all done with like how you can picture something, and how you craft that picture of something. That's why if you don't have information, you're just going, send me to here, the magic goes. Essentially, becomes a
call for teleport.
Becomes essentially a Google search. Did you mean?
Brain Bolt would be great at teleport.
Anyway. Yes, so you want to try and go to Modwin instead. Okay, so this will be rolling under essentially... this will be a D100. It will be... You've got enough associated objects. I think this would be a 100% chance. D100 roll. Because not only have you got like depends. Are you trying to go
in there, fought there, got the t-shirt, the hat,
are
the
you
ball cap.
whereabouts in Modwin are you trying to like go? Are you trying to get to like,
Probably
because
the
like you've also
library.
got like the dragon scales from killing the Valmyr's got the dragon scales from killing the dragons outside. You've got I think you bought a lot of your winter clothing from there. Like
Yeah. Probably just outside the town. Like literally within, well, you could see it.
Sure.
But I don't want to accidentally, what do they used to call it? Gib somebody by teleporting on top of them.
Okay.
I'll loan you my cloak while just for that added extra thing from there.
I should put it on because it's bloody cold out there too. And away we grabs everybody on. Go.
Cool. And you go. Actually, as a note on the object thing, Valymr, apparently the object has to be taken from the location within the last 6 months.
Oh, really?
There's actually a timescale on it.
I wasn't aware.
Because now, like, if it's been too long, it's now your possession. So it would teleport to you.
Can I have my cloak back real quick? Because it's probably been more than 6
Too late.
months. We appear 2 feet to the left.
familiarity with this location is clear, and something that instantaneously gets you is that even in spring, there is a howling bite to the air around you. Like you're mid-spring, comfortably mid-spring. The world is getting warmer, but in the like gap of the spine that you're in, with all those like those stalagmites, which ones? Mites and tights, I don't remember.
Big tall mountains.
Are those just in caves?
Remember that I said that the road towards the Modwen is like, it's like you have the King's Road and then it goes down to Modwen up to Igelenfoss, and the down is a huge valley through like spike-like rocks.
Oh, okay.
And as you feel the wind howl through and in between these spike-like rocks and the familiar spinal pass blurs into vision around you, with Modwen down the road, the high walls with built a city upon them, clear as day. There is a chill. It's chillier than where you were. It is. You left on a kind of a cloudy morning in Lake Night. It's very cloudy overhead, like no sun or no sky visible in the thing. There's a little haze of mist. There's a little haze of mist out, and there was just this bite of wind as it just whistles past you, and it's kind of tuneful. It's kind of like a bone whistle kind of sound of wind going through. But you see in front of you the Modwen, and you actually see the you are not too far from the area in which you were ambushed by those two green dragons that time.
Grumpy ruby noises, but she'll take Valymr's cloak and use it effectively because
I mean, I feel like I was quite effective in using it, but
I'm effectively warding off the wind because Ruby hates the cold.
I have the cloak of the manta ray that's just on all the time as well, so I effectively had two cloaks on the whole time. Feel free to borrow one.
One for warmth, one's his wetsuit.
Look, that one stayed on. I don't care.
All right, no,
desert,
no judgment.
Surprise oasis. I'm covered.
Yeah, exactly. So,
go up to. It's still early morning. We can make our way south.
Yeah.
We gather our party and venture forth.
Sure. And yeah, you do so. You make it to Modwen within like 10 minutes of walking. It's one of those things of like the city was in sight the entire time, but and also the problem is the road surface is kind of crap because it's like, it's almost like the stones that make up the pass it's like there's a lot of rock falls, rock slides. It kind of ruins the pavement surface quite a lot, and it's just the years before tarmac. So
also, if it was recently winter, then all the roads would have frozen,
yep.
with water in it, expanded, cracked, and now it's spring, all the roads falling apart. I don't have any intimate knowledge of this. This is not something that my road's been closed for the past 4 months, and I'm very annoyed by it. But yeah, no, I totally understand the road being real crap.
Yeah.
But Finland and Alaska share 2 seasons, winter and construction. Or road construction.
Unironically, yes.
So potholes are a constant in the UK as well. Just
the road is a pothole.
Yeah, that's essentially
the whole thing.
Imagine that, but there's also like grass and stuff. It's more like a mountain pass that fills up most of the road surface.
Do we
and
even
like,
need to go to Modwen?
Or
can we just?
Or do you want to just directly head away from it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think
Sure.
there's anything we need directly. We don't got supplies.
So instead of seeing Modwen, like an hour later, you're at the bound of the King's Road, that crossroads to Igelenfoss, and that pass over the spines. Quickly, everybody, just because of where you are and you're in those deep trees and you were ambushed here before, but this is also quite near where you've met the Crown Prince that first time. But give me a quick perception check, just all of you.
Did we meet the Crown Prince at Compound?
Yeah, you're on the road.
20.
You're on that road now, the one between Modwen and Compound.
10.
21.
21 and 20. In the distance, because now that you've raised out of that gully of the mountain pass, it's a little bit of a clearer day than it was. The cloud's much higher in the sky. You actually look towards the Reynard Empire, and you see behind you. The last time you looked across this path, those of you that were there for the compound event, you noticed that compound was burning, and you could see it for miles. Now that you look back, you see heavy construction. But another thing that you notice is you actually see skyships around it. Both protecting it. You see what seem to be military skyships, but you also see some being used for construction, much like the ones that you saw in Reshin. And the great towers that build up the circular wall of compound seem to be slowly being repaired. But you head south towards Nardathel. Breton, are you traveling on Silverhill?
It'd be too fast for him to travel on it by itself, so he's probably... Silverhill will be coming along, but he's not going to be riding it.
Okay. I was just wondering, because also Valymr has his steed, like cool steed. You could probably double up and increase your travel times.
Also probably has his.
Yeah, I mean, it's if we're going riding, then yeah, I'll bring you up to Sturka.
Yep.
If we are doing that, Ruby is going to take the opportunity to practice her flying.
Sure. If you want to. I think being on the steeds will be faster, but
it would be when we're not when they take a break.
Sure. No, that's fine. But if you're okay, that significantly reduces the travel time if you're all going, mounted. It was just so I was aware of that. After a couple of hours of travel south, it's quick going as well, because you're now descending through the pass between the Spine mountain range. And in terms of what this looks like in terms of have you seen there's a pilgrimage that goes through the mountains between France and Spain. And there's a big road that just goes straight up and then over a mountain. Okay. It's a fascinating image that I saw for the first time a couple of months ago. It's very much like that. It's there is mountains either side, and then this road that is essentially almost cut into the mountains, almost tunnel-like, but still of a great height to it. So even when you're at the top, you see far, far down the path below. It's miles still. You can make out the little inn at the bottom for all the time that you're traveling, but it takes you almost the full day to get down there. So it's getting to sort of evening time. There is this inn and stabling. Do you want to break here for the night, or would you like to press on a bit more?
How far away are we from the tavern?
From the tavern, you're at this tavern at the bottom now. That's what I'm saying. Oh. You're about an extra day's ride from Cormont.
Wait a day.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
take the comfy tavern.
Okay.
Sleep instead of sleeping on the road.
Okay. No problem. Yeah. So this is it's like a roadside tavern, and it's on both sides. They have buildings on each side, and on one side you notice there's a main sort of almost hotel, and then there's one side that is the tavern and stable. And on the hotel side, there is also what seems to be tents for an outside bathhouse. It looks to be a well-established, this is a heavy foot traffic route. And there even is a guardhouse here. Breton's mentor actually turns around and says, I have an open tab with the rooms here. They keep a set of rooms for agents of my group. It should be no cost for us to stay here.
Okay. Ruby's gonna carouse a little bit.
Sure. If you want to for the evening.
Talk to people, get the local gossip.
Sure. The tavern, by the way, is called the Rosaries.
Rosaries.
Yes, like rosary beads.
Okay.
The full title is like Rosaries on King's Road, but it's just people know it as the Rosaries. And okay, so you head into the main tavern. Is that all of you that are going?
Sure. I can go for a drink.
I mean, I think Breton's gonna stick with Ruby.
Sure. Your companion actually heads straight to the hotel to get those rooms sorted. The hotel side of things. And says he'll meet you a bit later. Despite the amount of... There's like a lack of space in the stables. It's not that you can't fit your horses in, but there's a lot of horses and carts and such here. But when you get into the tavern itself, it's very empty. Like, there's not many people eating and drinking. It's staffed, but it's just quiet. It's like 3 tables out of 70 that are occupied.
Wow.
But all signs seem that this place is full. And it's the evening, so this is like prime time for dinner.
Is your food so bad? Is why that nobody wants to come and eat it? Why is it so empty right now?
And
Saying to the tavern keep, I guess.
saying that to the tavern keep.
I'll just
With a
roll up and insult
with a smile, with like a jokingness.
The tavern keeper seems to be like a very grizzled human man, but features set and broad, more dwarven in the not in stature but in shape. He looks up and goes, "Nope, food's good. People are just uncomfortable being near one another right now. A lot of people holed up in their rooms with everything that's going on."
You talking about the dragon attacks in compound and such, or?
Oh, you
else?
name it. I mean, up until about a week ago, it felt like there was a war on, a major war, the people passing through. It's normally really good for trade, but last couple of months, fewer and fewer people wanting to be near one another with all the sickness and blight that's going around.
This started a couple of months ago.
Well, here and there, probably in the area, it's... Actually, would you mind just quickly washing your hands in the bowl? He points to like a bowl on the countertop. It seems to have like a... what's it called? A very perfumed, like, water within it. That he uncovers.
When I put my hands in it, I'm gonna cast Purify Food and Drink, so the water is like purified while I wash my hands.
Well, it's as you start washing your hands and you get closer to the smell. That's just pure like ethanol. It is rubbing alcohol.
Hey, I said food and drink. I mean, in a pinch.
True. You get the impression that no, this is doing that just more in a more manual sense.
Yeah, try drinking ethanol, see what happens.
Yeah, that's true.
I said in a pinch.
See what happens.
Yeah, mix it with your water about 1,000 times over. Maybe you'll be fine. Upset stomach for sure. But he's like, "Oi, it's been hard for business. It's you push and shove, I guess. Well, the troops moving through here, it used to be excellent, but people just keep themselves, eat their rations, it seems, most of the time. Sometimes we get people ordering food to their rooms. That happens a lot. So much so we've actually have to overstaff the hotel more than the restaurant. But
some sort of dash service for going to the doors. I make no apologies.
No, it's I mean. There's I believe there's a small entrepreneur in Soles that's really starting to. It's a small group of wizards, wizard apprentices, got together and made misty meals. That's a thing that's happening because of the people not wanting to go outside their houses and stuff. They used to just misty step food to one another's places and use that to get around the city a bit more. But I can see the branding.
It's very inefficient.
No, but I digress. You coming down from Rien? Is the blight not made it over there?
We've been all over the place recently.
Okay.
Most recently in Reshin.
Oh, Legoron's land.
Yeah, it didn't seem too terrible there.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's from what I've heard from travelers, it's hitting the plains more than anywhere else. But
any odd sightings around here?
Sightings?
Your local things that aren't supposed to be here. Rumors.
Leans in. Well, there's been a lot of rumor that the plagues, the blights, paladins are struggling with it, where they've all been off at war and there's a reduced number of them. It's cause from concern, but from what I've heard is the disease is even afflicting some of them. Those normally protected by such evils.
That is worrying.
And then even deeper rumor is that sometimes death ain't the end of the plague. But that could just be the small folk talking. I haven't seen anything of the sort. We had a couple.
Got on. Oh, sorry.
We have had a couple of sick caravans move through. Monastic orders coming in with people coming back from the war and that sort of thing. Quarantining off some of the. But yeah, not much has made it here.
I'll have whatever you have on tap and whatever's easy to make.
I can do that. About yourselves, anything for yours?
Ale, food.
Okay.
Feed me.
We got here. I'll bring it over to your table. Just go find yourself a seat.
I'll drop a gold coin on the table.
Mighty nice of you.
They're getting paladins sick, Breton and Valymr. Careful. Drink your orange juice.
We should all be careful, but it also suggests it might not just be a disease. It might be some form of curse.
Isn't there something in the prophecy about plagues and such? We thought it was going to be the blight on the elves, but if this... I mean, that got foiled, and prophecy finds a way.
I've given up trying to apply things to the prophecies. As everybody has repeatedly told me, they don't... The interpretations can wildly vary. We look for the signs and we pay attention as best we can, but we shall handle these threats as they come instead of focusing on what they might or might not be. Breton's mentors called for aid, we can deliver it.
You sit yourselves down, you get situated, and it's when, after 10 minutes or so, Elwyn returns. He puts in an order at the bar and then comes over and joins you. He's taken like you see that he's got like he takes like his riding gloves off and like washes in the bowl and then puts his riding gloves back on and sits down. Well, this place is pretty quiet. And then he puts on the table, he gives you a set of room keys. One for Valymr, one for Breton.
The barkeep mentioned that there were paladins who were getting sick from the plague. It may just be rumor, but do you know anything about that?
Not that I've heard confirmation of, but considering this is so otherworldly in nature, I would not be surprised if it's not a disease that they are being afflicted of and people are just confusing things. But if it's true, then that is very worrying, because not only does it mean that the disease is powerful, but it means our saintly methods of protection are not what they used to.
Or that the plague itself is not directly biological nature, but magical.
Yes. I want you, once we get to Cormont, there is a fortified abbey about an hour's 3 hours ride south. Hour and a half hard ride. It has been on quarantine by an order of knights that have been employed by the group I have been working with to keep people from going near it after it was decimated by one such disease. I think it would be the perfect place for us to get a first-hand and most recent look at what is going on.
Has anything like this happened before in history?
Plagues come and go.
Sure, something like this one.
That is exactly why we are calling for your help. Yes, it has happened, but nothing to this degree, and it has spiked recently. Not only that, with the other rumored sightings of the Chevalier Argent and knowing some of what is going on in the wider world, it is of greater concern. But as green and pleasant as a lot of the Natafel is, out of a lot of the realms, it is one of the more wild when it comes to magical nature. I think it's something to do with the energies of... Sorry to get a bit theological here, but it is the energies and the true nature of the Chevaliant, and how do you show service to the Chevaliant and guide yourself on a quest if there is no quest to be had. And I think the realm knows that, and it provides for us, so that we may be proved worthy. But this is not... This is a greater evil.
You never did tell me. How did you meet Breton? Or come to squire by him? He's just assigned to you?
The young Breton was... yeah, he was assigned to me. But it was through... existing connection. I'm an old family friend.
So this is a bit of deception on Ruby's part, but she is going to say, reminds me of that time when I went jumping off the cliffs on the east side of home, and you had to come diving after me. This story never happened. She's just, playing.
So you're trying to. So are you playing to test his memory, or are you trying to ascertain that it's?
Is this actually him? Just out of curiosity, just making sure.
Make a deception check.
Sure. Uh, 24.
He's like, I do not remember that happening. Are you confusing my actions with Breton's actions? Because whilst you are a sprightly girl, I do not recall having to chase you down a mountain.
A little bit. Might have been him.
Well, I know I am as dashing and handsome as he, so it is easy to get confused, eh?
Inwardly gagging a little bit, but all right. No. And I also apologize. A bit of deception on my part. I entirely translated the last chapter of the Book of Ascension that detailed the nature of the prophecies and what was going to happen. And part of it said that there was a deception afoot. Just checking. The dragons changed shape, and I detected your magic earlier, but I couldn't see anything specific on you.
I appreciate your due diligence, but I wish you had shown such candor in your language classes when I was on guard of you. Your linguistics teacher used to give me an earful after every class.
I've had to grow up a lot over the last year.
And I have grown much older after the last 7.
I mean, to ask that. Unless you age like a raisin, what else has been happening that's...
For lack of a better term, I was a quest dealing with... we were dealing with some demons. They had spawned in one of the... there was a small little village community on the coast of Gleswy, not near one of the major cities. You know how the rural towns are. They often have their own folk heroes and folk tales. Well, a cultist had infiltrated the town, twisted one of their folk tales, and got them believing in a greater beyond. I was transported for a while to a pocket dimension during that quest, and what was about 5 months out here was 5 years in there.
Oh.
So, in actuality, it has been 14 years since I saw you all last. Thereabouts, biologically.
I'm stolen from you.
Time gladly given in service once more. It's about this time that the tavern keep brings over what looks to be like mugs of, seem to be a local ale. And they're like large, sort of like tankard size. It's like probably 2 pints of ale, and then like this big hearty stew, and you each get like a small loaf of bread as well. Just be like an onion, a bit like and some sort of meat stew.
Nom nom nom. Your meat beef stew. Ruby's chowing down.
Yeah, but, and like boiled potatoes as well. So just
Ruby
hearty,
Monster Hunter style.
hearty food. It's good. Like, it's definitely not the food putting people off this place.
Did you heard everything that happened back home?
Yeah. Like I said, it's members of my order went in and investigated afterwards as well. I saw the husk of the hall myself. The burnt out hull. A lot of memories.
I'll rebuild it one day. I like the climate. I miss the ocean breeze.
Kivir Amalu is one of the nicer sites in Nardathel.
My mother had a child.
Oh. I will have to write her my congratulations when the time is nicer.
Newborn relatively recently. She had it's from my late father's.
You see his good eye sort of furrow slightly. But he sort of just nods. Well,
with any luck, she's not inherited the same disastrous powers that I seem to be associated with, or the luck.
Or the fiery spirit, I would. Otherwise, she is going. I said I missed working for your family. I did enjoy it, but I don't think I could do it again in my age.
She just carefully nudges Breton.
A lot of energy.
I just had a brain fart. Oh my gosh.
That's okay.
I'm getting old and I don't like it.
Valymr,
Yes.
can you give me a perception check?
Definitely the right person for this.
Mm-hmm. No, it's something relatively specific to you, sir.
18.
You once like the food is put down, you see the like the innkeeper that was serving you boy over. You see him like push through the kitchen door, and just corner of your eye, like sort of because you follow him as he goes, sort of kind of half listening to the conversation that's happening with Elwyn. You see the kitchen door swing open, and you see washing dishes. One of the staff members. It's a young, probably 18, 19-year-old dark purple-skinned tiefling woman. But you notice the telltale drow-like ears and whiter hair.
Owen, you said you've been here before. You've got rooms on tap. Do you know who works here? Have you seen many of the staff?
I've seen a number of the. I believe we have checked out all of the staff. Yes. Before.
Have you seen any that look like me?
I personally no, but it is been a while since I last passed through this in particular. I am less of a creature comforts kind of person. I prefer the tent on my back.
The innkeep's in the kitchen now. They're not.
Yeah, no, they push through. It's like one of those doors. It's just like as the door opened, you saw someone washing dishes.
Can I? Let me just have a look a second. No, that probably wouldn't do anything. I'm gonna wait until the innkeep comes back in and be more mindful, and I want to
try and take another look
as the door opens.
Sure. Okay. About 2 minutes later, you see the door squeak again, and innkeeper comes back through, and you see the dishwasher again, and they kind of flick off there like the water from their hands, and they take a towel to sort of wash it. As the door closes, their eyes meet yours, and you see them bolt.
Bolt?
Yeah. They run deeper into the building.
Can I misty step to where they were?
You can definitely misty step into the kitchen because it's got like there's enough of a window, and it's just like before you do this, are you telling anyone else that you've seen this individual? Because there was, like I said, there was about a 2-minute wait between.
Well, I think it's
or is it a fact that are the three people at the table about to watch you misty step away? That's what I'm just trying to say.
When I was talking to Elwyn about have you seen anyone like me, it's like I think there is one working in the kitchen. A tiefling of drow descent. We're pretty rare at
the tree.
There.
Yeah.
How you doing?
And you see basically running out the back of the kitchen. This individual is just going. They kind of turn behind you and see that you're there. They're like, you just hear them scream like, "Get away from me!" and keep going.
Wait! Stop! Don't. I'm going after them.
Okay. What's your speed?
I just want to talk to you.
30, I think.
Are you 30? Okay. So you've got to try and get around like. So that in front of you is quite a few like kitchen counters and stuff. Do you want to try and run around them, or are you going to go like, basically, I'm going to ask, do you want to hot fuzz the fence?
Of course I'm either going to hot fuzz the fence, or I'm going to Shaun of the Dead hop the fence.
Okay.
We're doing one of these.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, shortcut, basically. Okay, give me an acrobatics check. Or athletics, whichever you'd prefer. Because basically you're running at the same speed, so...
It's a 5.
Okay, so you go over the first one, and then your foot kind of catches, and just boom, pots and pans, sort of noise.
Can I use a point of luck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use a point of luck.
Right, and what's he doing?
21.
And with that, so like your foot catches, but like where you fall, you kind of slide across the other desk, the other side. So yes, you knock all the pots and pans down, and all you guys hear in the kitchen is crash, crash, and the innkeep turns around and is like, what's going on in there? And then you get he goes to investigate. But you make it across, and she probably gets like 10 foot out the back door into this what looks to be a little herb garden, like little vegetable patches and stuff, when you finally like kind of catch up, and you're like 10 foot away, if that.
Why are you running from me? What's going on? What's wrong with you?
She's kind of like stops and like sort of turns. It's like,
I'm a good guy.
debatable.
That's what
You're
the last
okay.
one said.
I've only ever met one other that looked like me in this entire world. And he wasn't good either, so I understand. But I'm not like him.
Give me a persuasion check, Valymr.
Ruby, I guess you're going to pull Breton up, or they're going to follow.
Yeah, okay. You guys begin.
That's
to
a
follow.
natural 20 for a 30. You will be convinced! I'm a good guy, damn it!
She kind of... The fact that you haven't drawn a weapon, the fact that you're not like...
I don't have any weapons on me. I am weaponless completely.
Yeah, exactly.
Until I don't want to.
There's a hint of she suddenly believes you a little bit more. Eav. She's like pointing at her lips.
I have my lips, yes.
No, did he not have?
Oh, yes. He's dead now. Was he your half-brother too?
She just like nods.
Well then... he is also dead.
I'm gonna insight from her. She just got a natural 20, so this is going well for you. So this fuck you on the dice is actually a fuck me. She kind of sighs out. I thought it was all finally done with when I stopped hearing him whisper to me. And she looks up. When I saw you out there, I'm sorry, I
understand. I'm sorry to chase after you. I suppose that didn't really put me in too high estimations, but how long ago did the whispering stop?
I, as the GM, don't know. I don't know how calendar long it's now been since you killed your father, but it would align with that.
We know the exact day of it.
You know the exact day. Yeah, I'm saying
Was it Ghoultide when it stopped?
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, that was me misremembering what's happened. Sorry. That's about that. Yes.
Well, yeah, he's the one that was whispering to you. He's also gone permanently.
You see her hands are kind of like brighter colored where they've been in like hot water. She like kind of wipes them on her like apron. She's kind of like rolled up sleeves, like a bit of like a what seems to be like a kitchen apron. Like a dark blue, it's like a dark cyan colored shirt that's been rolled up and like brown trousers. She has the one thing that's very different to how you look, though, that she seems to have. She has like one like completely bright, shiny blue eye. And then one just a normal-ish eye with like a brown pupil. And she puts out her hands. Just, I'm sorry, where are my manners? My name is Margot.
Margot. I'm Valymr. It's nice to meet you, sister.
Oh, nice to meet you too, brother. And about this point, this is where the Breton and Ruby you'd kind of follow out, and including like the innkeep manager, who's just kind of like, Margot, What on earth's going on?
Very good question.
Jeremy, sorry, it's been a bit of a misunderstanding. I thought Valymr here was someone. I'll get back to work now. And she kind of says like, "Nice to meet you again," and kind of squeezes past all of you and goes sheepishly back into the kitchen.
I'm Valymr. I know you could scare people with a look.
How would you not have known that?
Because you're really
Kind
not
of-
terrifying.
Not to someone who knows me.
But
No, just let him have that one.
But then the innkeep guy kind of comes up to you, Valymr, and is like, "I'm so sorry for that, sir. She's new. Promise it won't happen again. I'll
She's my sister. It's
Oh,
a half sister I never knew I had until this moment.
and you're sure of that? Well, I suppose there aren't going to be very many that look like either of yous. Congratulations, I guess. All right. If you don't mind, this is actually a restricted area. It's not for customers.
Sorry, and I'm gonna put another gold in his hand.
No problem. No problems here. Cool. So, group, what would you like to do?
Well, after that moderate distraction, I'm afraid I just don't have any idea where the hell we want to start this.
Well, we're going out tomorrow morning to the Abbey.
So you finish up your meal, you rest up. The night goes uneventfully. The rooms are quite nice. They're, actual mattresses rather than like hay stuffed cots. You get sheets, pillows. The room, you get the impression the room has been cleaned heavily. Like most inns, like they're clean, but they're not like. It's an inn, like, but this one looks like it's been cleaned. And the extra like bathhouse, one of you can see it from like your room, the bathhousing behind. It looks like it wasn't a feature of the inn beforehand, but it's heavily used at the moment. Hygiene is like, seems like it's been taken up a notch recently.
Clean room.
I am going to write a letter to Margot.
Sure.
Basically saying I'm not anywhere permanent, so trying to get in touch with me might be difficult, but if you're ever in Breton, then I am on favorable terms with the Duke, and if you need to get in touch with me and it's urgent, then trying to go through those channels is probably the best way.
Sure.
It's going to fold up the other shit about like who I am and that kind of doodad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to fold it up and put the letter inside a coin purse with 100 gold in it.
Okay.
And he's going to basically try and find out where she is and leave it in her room or something like that. Sounds creepy as fuck, but
Okay, I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to leave her something to,
Find me later when it's less.
yes, dangerous.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. Give me a quick investigation check.
I'm gonna use a luck.
So early in the session. Good. Excellent. 9. You don't find her, but you do find Jeremy, the innkeeper.
Jeremy, I cannot stay here. Obviously, you're roadside inn. You know, people move, come and go. I don't know if I'm going to be coming back this way, but I want to leave something for Margot. Where could I find her?
Oh, she doesn't stay here in the inn, so to speak. She's shacked up with a couple of one of the farming families just about a mile into the fields out there. If you wanted to leave something, I can get it to her on her next shifts tomorrow.
How long ago did she leave?
Oh, she clocked off about an hour ago. It's like not long after you, but your interaction happened.
Well, she was already leaving while I was writing. Fuck. I'm gonna leave it with him and say, make sure she gets this.
Absolutely.
At some point I will be back through here. I want to know that she gets this. And I'm going to give him another 10 gold to make it happen.
He's like, you'd already given him 2 gold, but now she's like, right you are, sir. No, definitely. Like, give me an insight check.
24.
Yeah, he's doing it. This man just seems very genuine, and it's just like, you get the impression like he's like one of the owners of this place, or it's like it's been in his family a while, and it's like one of those things of he's trying everything right now to keep it afloat in a time where even though there's foot traffic still, nobody wants to use the services, so he's put in extra cleaning measures, he's put in a bathhouse, like he's doing all sorts of things, and you're out here just like, you've just paid all of my staff for the next week. It's just like, / bought like all of the finest bottle of wines he had. Like, it's a good establishment, but it's not like a pricey establishment. It's you've essentially just like given £1,000 to the owner of a Premier Inn, and he's like, yeah, no, I could do that. I'm gonna go walk down the road right now. Like,
sorry, let's please go. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of that vibe. No, I'll get it to her. Don't worry.
Thank you. I wish I had more time, but business calls.
Sure. Anyway, bright and early, you all get ready and head towards Cormont. It's about another day-ish ride, but if you want to go fast, if you want to hard ride this, you could probably get to Cormont like before the day is out. Meaning that you could either head towards the Abbey at night, or you could be there, rest up the night, and then head out first light again.
I don't know if we want to absolutely rag the mounts. I can't even say just horses, because none of the mounts are horses.
And no, there is one horse. You have one horse, one lizard, one griffin.
Oh, the Owen's fine steed is a horse.
Yeah, it seems to be a war horse, a big old war horse. It's almost a little closer, like in breed, to like Shire horse. Like it's a big beefy sort. Like this thing could pull a tank. It's an absolute unit of a horse. But yeah, he's got a horse.
All right. I think ain't no need to gallop. Just
Okay.
nice trot. Maybe a canter. Those are the only 2 speeds I know for a horse.
Okay. Sure. Someone just give me like a D10 roll. Breton, if you could, maybe.
Nine.
Cool.
Hey.
On the road to Cormont, you are slowed because, like, obviously, it's one of the big things about the plains of the Nardathel is it's big cities, but then wide open spaces of just fields and trees and agriculture. That's like it's a huge thing. The region that you're in is actually particularly like vine country, and a lot of hops and ale like producing.
Hedges.
Rather than like wheat fields, or every now and then you come across like maize or corn, but it's not like just rolling wheat fields. It's more for Americans. It's more California than Oklahoma in terms of the fielding, like at least where you are right now. But you get to you slow because you see 10 or so individuals, all of which seem to be in pure white robes, knelt down beside a roadside shrine. And they look to be praying.
Ruby looked to Alwyn.
He's the one that's like, he's slowed first, I think, more than anyone, but there's a level of concern to him. Give me a perception check.
Me or
any of you, all of you.
14.
18.
26.
Holy Breton. Breton.
And a nat 20 on that as well.
Natural 20. Breton. At first it looks like a kind of a standard, like not standard, but a not unusual thing in Nardathel. Like roadside shrines is definitely not a thing. People doing pilgrimages, also not mysterious thing. People in robes, not a mysterious thing. People with blood on their hands, a mysterious thing. And you notice that in this prayer, like all of these individuals, it's very subtle. You only just see it from because you're quite a distance away, but you just catch onto it because you see one person with it, and then you notice in between like their clasped hands where they're praying, there is just blood running out of all of their hands. Like it looks like that they are. They've all got blood on their hands, quite literally. And you get a glimpse of the shrine, and you actually see what seems to be some sort of liquid on the front of the shrine as well.
We got them red-handed.
Fuck's sake. Get out.
You can't make me.
But there is just a sudden. It's like one of those things of a sudden. There is, as soon as you notice that, there is a sudden, like gulp, a sinking feeling of that's not right.
Can I do like a vibe check on these people as well? To like,
Sure.
are they all?
Give me insight. You can vibe
Like
it.
they're yeah.
I will say it's kind of a disadvantage for you. You're not sure on the culture here. So.
Fuck, I don't need a disadvantage.
That's a natural
I
one.
can't roll lower than a 1.
Yeah, it's people praying at the side of the road. Kind of unusual.
Vibes, they are exquisite.
What is the iconography of the shrine that they're praying at?
You're kind of at an angle where you can't see because it's like one of those. It's like a stone carving at the bottom, and then it's like one of those things that is kind of like a house at the top. So it's like a reliquary. So you'd have to be at the same angle they're looking at to see it. You
Breton
also
will dismount.
you
and
also
move in
can't see
behind
their
them.
you can't see their faces as well right now.
Do they have hoods up?
They've all got hoods up as well.
these can't now. They're not cultists. The vibes,
No.
they're exquisite. They
Breton,
could be.
Breton's just gonna dismount, and he's just gonna make his way over, like in between them, and just move to the front of the shrine.
Ruby's there. Not in front of them, but
I'm gonna stay on Sturka, just like behind them.
Okay.
Breton doesn't need a mount to be imposing. Valymr kind of does.
So are you trying to stand between them and the shrine, or
He's not trying to between them. He's just making his way amongst them to get a better view.
Sure.
How
As
many
you
are there actually?
10. As you get closer, where like your footfall on the stone would thing, it's like they are paying absolutely no attention. Absolutely no attention whatsoever. And you get close enough where you start to see the shrine, and it seems to be a shrine to make a religion check, but
I'm imagining that like the roadside shrines in Kingdom Come Deliverance.
kind of that, but slightly bigger.
14.
It's more like the shrine on the side of a building in 40k.
Okay.
Because it's like British postbox size.
Ah, okay.
Okay. 14. Yeah, you know this. So this is a saint known as Augustina. She was a like a battle nun, essentially, for a lack of a better term. Well known, but you instantly notice as well that this has been defaced in some way. Her face, like the stone carving of her face, is gone. Like the actual stone itself seems to be bleeding, and like it is dripping down the front of the shrine. And all these individuals, they are like, even as you get closer, you don't need to get like right into them to be able to see this. You notice as they squeeze, they are kind of rubbing their hands, and like with it, like blood is kind of coming out of their hands, just dripping down onto the floor in front of them.
Yeah, I don't think Breton's in a mood to fuck around with these people. He's just gonna say, I'm going to let one of you answer my question. Who was responsible for this? Be eager.
And with that, their heads in sync all turn. And what you see is just like mumbling faces. They are all human, but their eyes are wide and look catatonic. In fact, it's like their eyes are so wide and unblinking. Their skin is pale and slightly like gaunt. There is blood running from like where their tear ducts would be, and like the corner of their mouths is also like bleeding, but it's not like where it's not flooding drips. It's just like, it's almost like their saliva is stained with blood. Their teeth look slightly like rotten and sharp, and it looks like freshly rotten, like their gums are bleeding. And like their noses are kind of like stained, like it's like they've had nosebleeds recently. And you also notice that like their hands, like the tops of their hands are completely fine and everything. It's just in between their hands, just more and more blood. And they're just, the saints will protect us. So please, the saints are going to protect. And they're all sort of saying very, it's not like they're speaking in unison, but there's just like this almost catatonic prayer going between them all.
So they have... Okay. Didn't notice that apparently. I don't really have a way to safely clean this shrine at all. It's been defaced anyway, so it should be fixed if you wanted to do anything with it. Yeah, he's just gonna call out, might be a better idea to stay back. I think this is just another spread of this disease that has been here. It'd be wiser to keep our distance.
Sure. They don't
And-
like. It's not like they assail you or anything. They are just probably like.
They're not violent. They're lost.
Yeah.
They are
They're
lost into the fever or the delirium or whatever it is that has beset them, and they just don't even
Yeah.
know what's going on anymore.
Absolutely that.
Can I cast detect poison and disease, please?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, apparently I've applied it to myself, which I think is probably still fine. Yeah, but it is within 30 feet. I will identify the location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of me. I can identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. And I can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by stone, blah, blah, the usual.
You don't get any poisons or diseases from these individuals. Well, no, that's a lie. You get...
Can't believe you.
You do get some sort of disease from them all. From them all.
Is it the same disease for all of them?
No, that's the problem. It's not. They all manifest with a different malediction. And
They're all diseased, but it's
Yeah.
not one plague, it's many.
it's almost like the plague has been created for the person. It's bespoke in a dark and twisted sort of way. Elwyn also walks up. I've heard reports of people like this lost. They're being referred to. People dress themselves in white while they still have their faculties, so that when they are finally found, in case they have walked far from where they are from, they carry with them a shroud that they can be buried in. It is best if we...
Breton is just going to approach the nearest one. It's very unlikely that this does anything for any of them, but if we don't do it and we don't discover it, then, you know, we have no one to blame but ourselves unless we don't work. He's just going to use 5 points of lay on hands, and he'll touch the nearest one, like, on the top of the head, and just see what he can purge in terms of disease from it.
Sure. You walk over to this woman, and you touch her forehead, and you feel the healing magic over her, and you say, like, she feels relief, like instantaneous relief by it, and then suddenly she kind of comes to her faculties slightly, and she's like, she like sees your hand and sees you, and she like kind of grabs your arm. She goes, "Please, sir, you got to get out while you can. It's not safe out here. It's not safe."
Where did you become afflicted with this? Where's the source?
Well, I don't know. The darkness, it swept my village. Where am I?
Just outside Cormond.
Come on. Nearest town to me is Dasburg. I don't know how I got here. And then you notice drip, drip. Her nose begins to bleed. And then she like feels the blood on her nose. And then starts rubbing her hands again. And she goes back to that catatonic-like state. And you noticed, Breton, as well, where she grabbed like you're in your armor, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Just on your shining radiant plate mail, just stained handprints of blood. But also like you got a quick look at her. You've got a high passive perception, so you saw. But you saw it's like almost she was grind. It seemed like she had like small little. There was like little objects in her hand that she was rubbing. And it looked like, now that you're close enough, it's like almost that they've got rosary beads on their hands. And it's like the movement of their hand into the palms into the rosary beads are just making them bleed.
I think at this point, Breton will make his way over back towards the group, away from the people. He's going to take a tear of cloth or something and just kind of very carefully clean that off and
Yeah, sure.
just toss it on the ground like Ruby, would you?
Yeah, she'll incinerate it.
Mm-hmm. Elwyn actually, he goes into things and he's like, he's got load. You actually notice there's one thing that I think you all noticed about Elwyn. He's got more than one water skin. Some of you might think it's for trade, but he actually goes onto the opposite side of where you see his drinking skin is, and he just goes out one and it's like, and you notice that instantaneously, Breton, it's also got like, it's got like artifactory of like the Chevalier on it, and he like pours it over your arm, and there's like a small sizzle from some of the remnants of the blood as holy water touches it.
It sizzles.
It's a corruption.
That demarks a fiendish or undead.
Divine sense.
Divine sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Consecration, desecration, fiend, undead, or celestial.
You definitely get desecration from the desecrated shrine. Yeah, the defaced shrine. There's no like Fey Fiend or undead near you. You get the impression that there's some things that are very possibly relatively close to being undead if the rumors are true surrounding that shrine.
I'm about to go Arthas on these motherfuckers.
But
if these poor souls are about to die, and if the rumors are true, become undead, we can't just leave them to then infect or harass, kill others.
How clustered up are they?
they're in a group around the shrine. Considering I feel like I can read your mind as to what you might be thinking, a fireball would do it, yes.
I don't want to blow up the shrine. She'll look to Breton and just say, Valymr has a point, but I don't know if I could bring myself to kill innocent people who want...
We are far enough away from what seems to be like a larger civilization. We cannot be the only paladins progressing this road, but we are on a mission and we do not have the resources to help them either. I suggest when we make it to Cormont, we let some of the benediction there know that there are these individuals, and they send clerics to aid if they can. And hope that they are still living by then.
It's going to pick up a rock from the ground.
Okay.
Just in case there is someone there that can teleport then.
Ah, I see. Valmyr's learnt about teleport and he's like, nope, I've got an idea. And he's just going to walk around handing people rocks. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. But you progress on down the road. And you don't have to hard. I said it would be a hard ride to get to Cormont by the nightfall, before nightfall in today. But traveling conditions are good. And it's probably 2 hours after nightfall that you make it to Cormont. Lantern lit, town guard waves you through. As a reminder, like, Cormont is a very, very small, like, actual village, but it's essentially a castle and a castle town. Cormont itself is like also the region, and there's so many little tiny villages everywhere, like these the monasteries, like these bespoke like chapter houses, lots of other castles, and then there's the main like sort of Cormont's the administrative center. So there's only probably about 2,000 people here. But it is a really well-defended castle. It's got a beautiful, like, chapel built into, like, chapel cathedral built into the castle walls. It's all a polished white stone that's made out of. And you see, like, the Cormont sigil it's a crest in 4 parts. One with an eagle, one with a lion, one with a leopard, and one with a serpent. And here it goes. So it's blue and white, yellow and black, blue and white, yellow and black in the coloring. But it looks. The main thing that stands out to you is that like those on guard, heavy face wraps, in terms of like covering their mouths and nose, and you get this strong smell of incense wafting through the streets, and you look up at like the lanterns that are being like to light the streets, and it seems like underneath them there's like an incense burner also going.
Let's go find a cleric or a rectory or something that we can let them know what we saw along the way before we carry on.
Do you want to rest up for a few hours and then head out to the monastery, or would you rather wait until the morning? If so, if you want to wait till morning, I will get us some rooms in the tavern. If not, I will. I'll find somewhere we can, just relax for a little while.
I'd much rather not stay in town if this plague is going about. I can secure us a place to sleep tonight.
Very well.
Just in case of plague.
Sure. Where shall I? Fine. I will head to the cathedral here. If you would want to go set up camp, we can.
She will. They'll
I'll go with him.
Sure.
Towards the crossroad outside town, Ruby is going to set up a Liamon's tiny hut.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Oh wait, no. Did I get Galder's Tower? No, I did not. Did I? I made a different game.
I don't think you have it yet in this game.
No, a different game.
I think you're tactically using your high-level spell slot for teleport and a damaging spell rather than the tower.
It's not a ritual. I don't know. I've been playing so many games lately. My spells are starting to blur together.
I think the tower spell it's a 7th level spell slot in this. I think.
No, it's 3rd.
Is it? Oh,
2nd. Galder's Tower is like 2 or 3. Yeah, no, it's.
That is a supplemental material thing. That is
it's
not a.
From yeah. Don't worry about it. Liamon's tiny hut. It's a safe place. It's dry and comfortable, and we can sleep in there without having to worry about zombies in your head.
Sure. And as we smash cut some pumpkins our way back to the chapel, Valymr, you like the smell of like incense is deeper here. Like it's so strong. Like in fact, you see like a kind of a crotchety old man refilling like an incense burner at the front entrance. It's like, and he is like, he's almost in like a purist's clothing.
makes sense.
as he does it. And you walk in, and it's like dimly lit, and there is clerics walking around and praying inside, or monks. They all seem to be wearing like a simple brown habit, but they all seem to have got like this pure white face wrap, and everything but their eyes is like covered.
So the opposite of me. So I got the blindfold.
Oh yeah.
Is there any? I mean, these are all like holy people. Like, has there been any? Are they treating me like a or looking at me as if I am wounded or in need, or
this is like you're literally you're kind of at the door, and I know it's kind of really noticeable. This is kind of what you're picking up, like as you step foot in the door, and you notice that like all of the halls of where the pews of this cathedral would be. All of the pews have like gone, and they've been replaced with beds. It seems like this is being used for hospice and hospital. You also notice that Elwyn takes out like a handkerchief that he's got, like or a cloth, and he's just getting the impression he's looking around everywhere he goes, and he makes himself like a face covering, like he dips it in sort of and he offers you one that he like he douses it in holy oils as well, and just like,
yes, I do enjoy some. He's not going to take that one. He's just going to pull his scarf up because that's
sure.
A bit too similar to being waterboarded.
Oh, okay.
Valymr is not in.
He's kind of he hasn't fixed it greatly, so he's kind of still like sorting it, and he goes, brother. He like tries to wave down one of these monks, and one just turns and sort of washes over, and he goes, is all well? Are you afflicted? It doesn't seem to have a Nudthelian accent with this guy. It doesn't seem to have that sort of Fionian twang to him. Seems to be of Rhiannian stock.
No affliction here that we can tell or been exposed to at the moment.
Good. What brings you to this? He kind of looks at you. Are you returning from the war?
We're just looking into the plague itself. We've been secluded from it and have decided that it might be worth our time to put some stock into figuring out why it's spreading like it is.
Well, mighty honorable request of you. I'll sequester the Archknight. They'll see if they can help aid you in your quest. I'll be a moment. And this individual looks to be... You're getting the impression that with this particular order that seems to be here, whereas a lot of the... In a lot of Chevaliant worship, it's very opulent. There's a lot of opulence to it. There's a lot of heraldry, a lot of like, because it's very nice, segmented around a warrior class. You're not getting the impression of warriors from these individuals. You're getting more the individuals of like, these believe in the... These are more monk in terms of the priesthood. They're not like... They're most likely, all of them could fight if push comes to shove, but they seem to be more of a peaceful order. But about a minute goes by, and someone in this like this brown, you see the familiar brown habit and like the cloistered hood, etc., but it's down, and you see like a blonde, you know, that classic monk haircut, where it's like the hair around of the ball, the balded top, but he has like a breastplate chain over the top of the monk habit and a sword at his side. You also notice that he is not wearing a face covering like the others. And he begins to walk over to you. And he looks at you all and he goes, I am Archknight Leonas of the Cloister of the Penitent Brother. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I am unfamiliar, but I hear that you are looking into the issues that ravage our landscape here.
Yes, I'm Breton Montilier. No order that I call home to. Though I am a member of the Skyfire Adventuring Company, these are my associates, which he's not going to introduce them. He'll let them introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have I returned yet, I guess, or is everybody still... No, I can't leave it.
You can't leave the hut, yeah. You can have joined... If you would have preferred to have joined this and done the hut later, that's totally fine.
Sure.
We can retcon
There's
that.
no point. Yeah, there's no point setting the hut outside of town if it's all you're going to be doing is sitting there waiting for us to get back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll join the group.
Sure. No worries. You can have been there.
But yes, we've come here to look into the better reason of how this plague is spreading amongst those that it is plaguing, finding the source of it, and hopefully putting what stop to it we can.
Many knights and paladins have also come here doing the same. It's a wildfire. It's big. It started occurring a few weeks past the war's start, and has just gripped the land like a skeletal fist. At this point, we are heavily undersupplied, with most of those of talents going to the war effort. Others went deeper into the fields and tried to rally between many of the monasteries and other castles to sequester aid, but we lose contact with more and more every day. I take it you also heard about the monastery to the south.
Mm-hmm.
Elwyn nods. That was our first port of call. Locally, it is where it seems to have begun. But I do not know if it is the same for everywhere, if you know what I mean. At least near Cormont, it is where we first heard of it and where it is retained most of the time.
This plague, it is not a natural plague. It is not. We encountered a group of 10 or so of these poor afflicted souls on the road, and while their outward symptoms were identical, the bleeding, the catatonic nature of him, they each had a different malady afflicting them, like it was customized just for them. They didn't share the same.
This is something we had noticed too. It always seems to be afflicting the blood or the humors of the body. Walk for a moment. Do not get too close, but let me show you. He takes you through a couple of hallways to what seems to be a smaller side chapel. And this room seems to be lined with bodies. Like under sheets. I would refrain from uncovering such, but whilst they all bled, they manifest different secondary affliction, if that makes sense. This individual, they grew boils and pustules. It goes over to another body. This poor soul.
Is he trying to uncover them, or is he just
Yeah,
pointing?
yeah, he uncovers them a little bit.
If he, as he goes to bend down, I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder to stop him from going like to touch it. I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and use that to uncover them.
Okay, and he
Can't
points to
take too many
another one.
Precautions.
No, he welcomes it. This individual's skin turned to what seemed to be bark. Another grew horns. This individual's skin began to melt. It affects everyone differently.
Do we know who the first was?
Not for certain. We know that, again, this chapel to the south, this monastery to the south is where we think it began in the area, but from what I'm hearing, it's apparently starting to happen in many of the other kingdoms and the counties and regions as well.
We'd heard rumors that when these souls pass on, they linger. Is that what happened to these? Actually, as I've uncovered them, is there anything that I notice about them? Like, have they got any
Make a
head
perception
wounds,
check.
for example?
Make a perception check.
Zombie in your head.
Warhammer in your head.
Quick, somebody bring out some.
Insight or
somebody
perception?
Bring out some
Perception.
plants. We'll be
Insight
alright.
would be you trying to ascertain something. Perception.
24.
Perception would be to look with your eyes. Investigate would be to actually get up close and think, but I didn't think you want to do that. 24. You look at these and no, you don't see anything of the sort. And he continues, it is why we are keeping them in a chapel. It is hallowed ground. They cannot return to life here.
They only can return as the undead if they are in desecrated ground.
Or untouched ground. But it's one of those. Time and time again, the reason we hallow graveyards is to prevent the bodies from being tampered with from evil. The same rules should apply. If what we know about
Saint Augustine, the shrine of Saint Augustine that we passed was desecrated.
He swears in Fionian.
I'm going to.
That would
That's
not
where
be.
these 10 that we found were. We actually came here to see if there's any spare clerics, paladins, etc., that could go and help
will-
these people. I'm going to produce the pebble,
Sure.
and if you have the means to teleport, this is from the area.
I do not have the means to teleport, but I know of it. I know of the Shrine of Augustina on the road. It is one of the many shrines under my care. I will grab a party and I will head out right as soon as we are finished.
Something is not, correct me if I'm wrong, something is not desecrated or consecrated without an act to commiserate it, yes? Which
Oui.
means somebody who is conscious and thinking had to go and actively desecrate the shrine.
Or the afflicted did it, and there is some sort of force driving them to, but yes, precisely. We are... this has taken roots at one of the worst times. With knights slowly returning from war, I hope it will get better, such as yourselves. All aid and help is beyond helpful because we are swamped. overwhelmed.
Breton, I don't know if we should wait until morning for this.
I think we need to get to that monastery. If that's the epicenter, if that's where it's originating or near there, we need to be oh so simple if it was just some evildoer that we could relieve of their head and all this would go away. But I don't think it's going to be that simple.
And while you decide that, we're going to go head to our midpoint break because we're slightly over time. But I want to get to the end of the conversation. So, guys, use this time, grab yourself a drink, and we will see you in 10 minutos. Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex, I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere, and if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch, and just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy it, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighbouring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast. So, Valymr,
Yes.
you just learnt the definition of let them eat cake being actually let them eat brioche. Forgive me, audience, I'm just finishing some brioche. But, party, what would you like to do?
I think we need to get to the monastery post haste.
A whole bunch of fucking things that we just don't have any training or rhyme or reason or logic or understanding of how to do properly. So let's just go to the monastery.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I did a smart thing and a dumb thing. I fixed that typo, but I forgot to export the people. Just give me a moment here. There we go. I fixed the overlay live. Yay, look at that. He's a smart cookie. Okay. So, it's about 3 more hours ride. And you begin to see, like, you move through these fields for a while. Elwyn, like, says, it is up ahead. And you start to see, like, little campfires burning. As you note, as stated, loads of guard, like, an order of knights has set up multiple camps around this monastery. It's one of those classic Nardathelian walled monasteries, so it's imposing. It's like a castle. And this one is sat in between vineyards. But space has been cleared, and there's these little campsites around with fires burning.
I don't suppose one of you paladins can pass on our protection from good and evil.
Yes.
Please.
I will cast protection from evil and good on her. You have 10 minutes.
I am going to...
If you're doing that just as we're going up to the monastery, I'm also going to do a protection from poison for you as well.
I am going
So that's for
to...
1 hour.
I'm going to withhold my protections until we're definitely going inside.
I feel like we are definitely...
We are definitely going inside.
Yeah.
We're not really the kind of party to
Not.
go inside.
I will find the knight captain. He has the keys.
No, that was 3 things that I suggested. At no point did I suggest it might be a poison causing this, but I'll say the reason I didn't suggest there was a poison causing it is because using our lay on hands to cure a disease can also cure poison. So poison would be cured regardless.
But I don't want to catch it in case it is.
That was me saying out of character, although obviously, Beth, but in character, yes, there's a reason I suggested let's try protection from evil and good in case it is some shenanigans with that.
So, you start to see these knights, and they are all... Some of them are lower level. Like, you clearly see that it's a lot of knight... Like, you see a lot of paladins, basically, of varying stature. A lot of them seem to be younger paladins, or knights, should I say, who seem to have, like...
Well, we know you're out here playing questing night.
Kinda is that kind of vibe. It's like these people probably weren't that long from squires, or probably were still squires while the war was going on, and that's why they were around. However, there is Elwyn goes up to the closest camp and is approached by a cloaked individual in, like, you see this sort of off-tan yellow cape and green painted armor in full plate, but it's like whereas like they've got the heraldry and stuff painted on, much like Elwyn had painted armor. This goes in green. Who looks to be like an older individual, probably in charge of this group of questing knights or this order, and he points some things out. Do you want to join the conversation, or are you staying your ground behind and waiting? Okay.
If we're just sitting around talking to the priest first, then I'm not going to cast protection on you until we actually get to the point where we might need to use it.
He basically goes over and he gets a set of keys and says, there is one of the drawbridges is left down for our access. This will get us in the Sally Gate. They expunged and burnt many of the bodies, so nothing is being left in place. This particular order did not believe in burial, which is lucky for us. But it still feels a drastic measure to have gone in and done so. Have you any wards that you would like to put on? Now would be the time. Cool. So, demark that you are using said spell slots and wards and glyphs.
I unfortunately can't double cast this spell, so I'm not going to have the protection for myself.
No. Elwyn's going to cast something on himself. He goes, okay. Lights a torch. Let us go.
We go.
Lead the way, mon chéri.
And you venture into the monastery. The first thing you are paladins, you all get a tingle down your spine. In the same way that you smell evil, like or bad, like how evil smells hit you like a bad smell. The air in this monastery like clings to the back of your throat. Like you're moving through a gas leak. It's like you can taste foul on the air. And you notice a like a statue in like as you go through into the courtyard of this monastery of this knight. They have like a halberd like out in front of them, and hanging from it is like this what would look to be like a brazier, but it is just like filled with blood, and it's pulled over the brazier, and it's just littered the courtyard floor. There's like wipes of blood on walls, like things that look to be like handprints on elements, and it's just like this whole place has been defiled by blood. And this is just the courtyard. Like white, like blood as well, like as down the face of this, like the armor of the statue is like, it's like it's been wiped with blood.
Which means I need to carpet bomb this place.
Does it look any... Do you get anything else if you have true sight? Does it look any different, or is it...
Let me check. Yes. You see that the blood and the ruin of this location extends even into the ethereal plane. You see the after images of knights, monks, are all around you, coughing, bleeding, dying. You also noticed that along the walls you see writing.
Is it being translated for me, or is it already something I could naturally read?
Do you speak Abyssal?
Don't believe so. No.
Well, then
I do. I picked that up in like level 1.
Nice. Either way, Valymr, you see infernal script scrawled in the blood.
Infernal or abyssal?
Yeah, abyssal or infernal. Those are two different languages.
Valymr gets the script.
Oh, it translates into my natural language would be undercommon.
No.
I guess it's
So like the Abyssal and
Side
Infernal
Portuguese.
use Infernal script. So you see it in Infernal script, and then it like morphs into the. I always imagine it when you have the thing. You see what's on the paper first, and then it like Google translates and reorders. Like,
oh, lovely.
like that would be the. So otherwise, doing things like in the past where you've gone like tried to match up English to thingies to like translate stuff would be really difficult if you couldn't at one point see what the original letter structure would have been. Otherwise,
Right, okay.
oh, be a little
Okay,
confusion.
but they use the same script. Is interesting. I didn't know
Yes,
that.
but as
Or I
your
forgot
but as your one of the boons of your father kicks in and allows you to read in that script, you see in what looks to be like gallons of blood written around the courtyard, just like circling the courtyard, you see blood of the blood of saints and martyrs scarred by my hands. The blood of saints and martyrs scarred by my hands. Like Bart Simpson repeated. And then it's like the same phrase. It's like that is written in small everywhere. And then there's just one big one that like circles the courtyard. Like the scrawlings of someone insane.
The corruption here, it extends into the ethereal. I see monks and paladins fighting off this affliction, and there's writing on the walls, the blood of saints and martyrs, something.
Scarred by my hands.
Scarred by my hands. The monks and paladins that I see in like the after effects, the after images of them, do I see them fighting?
No, so like you see like coughing, wheezing, like they're all sort of like falling. One thing you pick up is a lot of them are rubbing their hands.
Are there any that are visibly, clearly paladins?
It's hard to tell because again, with those who follow the faith of Chevalier Knights, everyone kind of dresses like everyone who is a martial individual wears heraldry and things of the Chevalier. Is like if someone has paladin powers, but there could also just be I'm a rune knight or I'm a knight or I'm a local lord. We all wear heraldry, and it would be one of those. You'd need a big old religion check on that, and it would be hard for you not being of that faith. But again, also they don't linger forever. It's like they like bleed in and out like ghosts, apparitions.
Ruby, do you still have that eyeglass of seeing true sight?
Yeah.
You should probably take a look at this. See if you see what I see.
She will turn it on.
You see the same things. It's just like what happened here seems to have left an imprint between the realms. And where the days have gone on here and hidden some of the story, the scars have even cleaved their way into the ethereal, where more detail remains.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Absolutely.
I will cast Detect Magic. So for 10 minutes I can see the presence of magic around me.
You see the presence of magic around you.
A faint aura, and so obviously I know Ruby's made of magic,
Sure.
Breton's covered
Yeah,
in magic.
Right now you don't sense any... No, you sense a little bit of magic. coming from the brazier filled with blood.
What kind of magic is it?
Necrotic? Necromancy?
There's necromantic magic coming from that brazier. Either there's something in it or itself is magical in nature. I don't think this is the epicenter, but that has got to go. Maybe fire would be a good idea. Return the brazier to its original purpose.
Outside of the current religious iconography that is drawn from the monastery itself, in the symbols of the blood that is everywhere, is there anything other than writing, or are there other symbols manifesting?
Make an investigation check for me, Ruby.
18.
Yeah. Actually, on this, seeing all of this around him, you see Elwyn cast a spell on himself. And you feel like a wave of calm over all of you, like as this aura surrounds you slightly. For technical terms, he's just cast Aura of Purity. He's like,
So he has cast the thing that I didn't cast because I didn't think it would work.
He's just gut reaction. And everything going on around him.
Did I see anything with the 18?
You do see runic symbols.
What symbols do I see?
You see symbols that would be similar to binding magic.
Am I getting the impression that these are drawn in the blood, or are these meant to keep the malice in? Oh no, they're drawn.
But they're only visible in the ethereal plane.
Interesting.
With the True Sight plus Detect Magic still on, are these symbols magical?
No. They're just drawn in the blood. Ruby, in your investigation and your Arcana check, you get the impression that whatever the binding is, like one of those things that it's all pertains to binding magic, but it doesn't make sense. It's like someone has mad-libsed a binding spell. It's like there are words and phrasing, and it's all jumbled. That wouldn't work. It would not work.
Well, madness is madness.
Yes.
She's still going to take the tip of her sword and just not spend the time slashing them apart, but she is going to deface the symbols.
They're not on this plane.
Yeah, I see them.
Yeah. You move your sword through the blood.
Can I cast Dispel Magic on them? They're not magical, but they're on the ethereal plane.
I don't think magic cast on the material could affect the ethereal. Don't think that would be the case. You know what? You can certainly try. Give me a spell attack roll. And on over a 25, I will say you can try and pull it a tether between the planes and try to dispel.
Okay. I think my spell attack roll is
It's pretty good, so...
Should be like plus 10, right?
something like that. Yeah. Let me make sure. All my spells are bloody saves. I don't have a lot of attack rolls anymore.
So
it's
it's
plus 11.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll d20, add 11. That's a natural 20.
Or just roll the 20. Yeah, okay.
For a total of 31. One.
Empowered by the sense of that needs to go, you just focus on the ethereal in front of you, and you almost follow the path that this chaos also followed. You reach through with your magic, and the same sort of noises that you're getting as like these ethereal after images, these scars, were leaving, and as they were fading in and out of consciousness, the sort of slightly flickering random runes of binding magic dispel, and you do get them. That's
any noticeable or tangible effect around, or
yes, the blood in front of you dries. It was wet blood still on the wall, like now it turns to like dry blood.
What if you did have an effect?
interesting. I have a theory of how this is spreading. These runes, I can't make heads or tails of them. But what I think is happening is someone or something is traveling in the plane between the planes and desecrating them with these runes. People caught around them or in them are afflicted. Shrines, monasteries. That's why it's centered around population centers, but not spreading really beyond them.
We should take a look at the other rooms.
You're saying that somebody is cursed. Not the people, but they've cursed the faith itself. Because we've seen that this has all been, almost all the places that have been afflicted that we've seen so far have been places of worship or places of sanctity.
Yes. This is a war on the gods themselves. So if we want a culprit, we find somebody who has beef with
Well,
the
I
saints.
think that checks out everything we've seen with it thus far. That also might mean if you could find a way to hallow these places again, you might be able to cure the people within in the same breath.
I don't know enough about the religion of the Nautifel, despite being from here.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know about our religions or our beliefs or our customs. It's like, aren't you like the daughter of one of the most preeminent dudes?
Yeah,
It's like,
but Ruby's apathy towards the divine extends into saints and sinners too.
Also, your father was a new made man. He wasn't necessarily
He's not
old.
old blood.
He's not old blood Rien. Not Rien. Nautifel. And but Elwyn looks at you. He's like, "Did I teach you nothing, girl?" And it's just kind of that thing of like,
taught, yes. Listen, different story.
This was a monastery to St. Rollo. They were like a peasant. They were a farmsteader that turned knight and hero and defeated a great serpent. This is there's a local protector. This is a sad way to see his following fall. We should check out more than the courtyard. I do not think it is wise to split up, however.
You're not wrong there.
So, where would you like to head first? Would you like to head like deep into the main monastery halls? Would you like put it this way? There's probably 3 or 4 key locations outside of the courtyard to search. There is the like the lodgings, like where people would sleep. There's the like main church halls. There's like the utilitarian section, which is like the kitchen, the storage, like all of those kind of things. And then there's like classrooms region of this monastery. So where would you like to check out first?
I feel like starting with the chapel might be the best option.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely to garner results if this is a distinctly anti-religious affliction.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You head into the main chapel and you notice it's a pretty big room. It's a sizable chapel. Probably enough that it could take 100 people standing. There's a large set of stained glass windows above the altar that have been smashed. The altar is again covered in blood. There's no remains. They've all been dealt with, but it's just... And there's smears everywhere. There's also like pews. They've all been tossed aside. Almost like a struggle happened. There's like stains on the pillars, the walls. And Elwyn looks and goes, according to the knight captain outside, when they cleansed the place, bodies were piled high onto the altar, like they crowded it for comfort. And when people fell crowding the altar, others just climbed the top. So what would you like to do?
Is detect magic still working?
It lasts... How long is it? 10 minutes. Probably towards the end of it.
Is there anything pinging in this room?
Not currently. Not at this distance, anyway. If you want to go like deeper into the room and start investigating, I will let you know.
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
Use it while I can.
Ruby's gonna keep her gem of seeing on, looking around, making sure we're not being followed.
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot more random like scroll and text and runes, and again, this all seems to be like, it's weird. They're like transportation runes, or like whether they're to do with binding or travel or gating. It's just all over the place, just scrolling into the blood in the after images of things. It's just like, but again, it's like Mad Libs. None of it makes sense. It's like,
Do I get the impression any of these connect to a central focus? Or like, are these signal?
No, it's like closed door, open window, Huntingdonshire, California. Like, it's like absolute nothing. It's like, give me an insight check.
Rolls a have been good so far.
They have
Before I ruin
indeed.
them. Ha! 17.
You get the impression it's kind of like in someone's last moments or something's last moments, it's writing down everything it can possibly try to remember, every little tiny fragment of memory on how to do something to try and prevent something happening. There's a defensive nature to all of the runes. But Breton, Valymr, if you guys are investigating, please give me an investigation check.
Valymr doesn't have true sight, or Breton doesn't have true sight, so I don't know.
Oh, there's still
I
things to look
see.
at in this realm. The runes are in another realm, but there's...
17.
Okay.
I also realize none of us have investigations. This is just sheer luck on our part. 20.
Okay.
Yeah, our rolls have been kind of scary good for what we're doing today.
Hey, no, that's great. I
Good
love
for
this.
me, for sure.
Breton, you begin to move around the chapel and something twinges for you. You heard Elwyn say that those who follow the order here don't bury their dead. But there's quite clearly into like a little alcove, like it's one of those things. So I don't know if you've ever seen like a altar that has like a backboard to it and a wall. So it's almost like it's like a partition wall, and then behind you can also go behind it to be, you know, where it would be like sort of, it's not a different room, but because it's closed off behind the altar, it's not directly visible as you go in. You go behind there and start to look. It's often where like those who are about to give sermons will have just things on a table, prep themselves like a communal bar, like things that they're going to use, like a prep area. But often they also have other elements. And in the back of this area, there is a sarcophagus. Breton, you notice that the sarcophagus is like, it's like someone has wiped a hand all the way along it from eyes to navel. And then like staining it with blood. But there's also like the ridges of the blood is kind of burnt. Almost like this, it hurt this thing to do this. Like this is a holy or a saintly burial. And then the roof of the sarcophagus looks like it's been disturbed. As in someone has opened this, but then closed it.
I think Breton would want to look inside of that as well.
Sure. You open the sarcophagus. It's a tough push, but you're so strong. I'm not going to make you fucking roll for it.
No, you don't want to see if
Everyone
that's the
else
first
would be like
natural
20.
one we get this evening.
A natural one for you would still probably be...
Still be a 15.
Yeah, exactly. That's just...
So.
Your natural one is more than my natural self. In strength.
To be fair, same.
But you push it aside. And you notice where it looks like to be like a burial shroud and like a lined, pillowed sarcophagus is empty. Something's been taken from it. Remains have been taken from this. And in place, you see a mysterious coin in the pillows.
I'm going to use one of my divine senses now.
Sure.
So it seems like this was an area that would be consecrated. It checks out, but he's also seeing if anything here is... Just checking if any of these items are consecrated. Do it, Luna. You can jump. Do it. I believe in you. Do it, girl.
So
Do it. There she goes.
You instantaneously on this coin, you see infernal script. It is of a deep reddish copper, but shines like gold.
Mm-hmm.
Or should I say shines like silver? But it's like a burnished red. It's slightly squared. And you get an instantaneous taste of like blood in your mouth when you sense it. Like that irony. Like you've bit your lip or something. Or you've bit your tongue. And there's just blood in your mouth. But it's that, and then it's followed by sulfurous. Like evil.
Every part of Breton wants to just be the one to be able to reach down there and grab it and pull this out, but he is going to do what he believes is the right call, and he's going to say, Ruby, come and grab this.
Okay.
Why do I feel like I just got...
You have protection from evil and good on. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
She'll come over to look at it. Whew. I could smell the evil on that. I could taste it.
Can I read what's on it in that infernal script?
Yes.
Is it abyssal, or is it in, like, obviously they're both in infernal script, but is it abyssal?
It looks to
language?
be the same as, yeah, it looks to be the same structure as before. So you might think it's abyssal, and Ruby will confirm because she speaks.
I speak abyssal and infernal. Reasons why I don't know. No, she'll reach down.
Because you're an edgy fucking teenager, is why.
She will reach down to cautiously raise a hand over it before she'll pick it up and hold it between two fingers.
On the coin, Valymr, it says a piece of silver.
A piece of silver.
Is it magical?
It's not magical. Yeah, detect magic doesn't pick anything up.
Can I Lambert roll a bloody history check? Is a piece of silver ringing any bells for
Sure.
my character?
Roll a history check.
15.
15. Give me a moment, and I will give you some information, but not all.
This is also something that Breton's probably studied quite a bit. I was going to say if that might make sense for him to roll.
Yeah, you can make a...
Well, I said it out loud what the translation was, so... Does this mean anything to you, Breton? You're more...
Protecting against fiends invading this realm is one of the things that is sort of literally his oath.
Yeah,
also,
absolutely.
just like in general, you know more about the religions of above the Underdark than I do.
Yeah, that was a 19 for Breton.
You get the impression that this is money, for one thing. Valymr.
Wow.
But...
15 for that, yeah.
But...
It's money!
The colour...
appears to be some form of currency.
One could use this for barter and trade.
The colour is reminiscent of a fabled metal that you might have come across in when you've been helping Zep back in the day. Back when you first found out about Cosmium, for example.
Did we just find like the infernal version of Cosmium?
It's called Blood Silver.
Infernium.
It's
Blood Silver.
And this is, again, like, Blood Silver is mostly used, Breton, you can also fill in this. Blood Silver is, like, also known as, like, Infernal Steel or Devil Metal. It's a corrupted alloy of steel and silver, normally. Sometimes it's more silver, sometimes it's more steel, which is essentially, like, the devil devil version of like god metal. It's like anti-god metal. And demons often take it, and then in what little societies they have, those that have a society in demon culture, they claw this away from the battlefield because it's made by devils normally, but demons claw this from the battlefield, reforge it, and use it as their metal as well. Mainly because even though they hate devils, it's good to have something that can do harm to celestial things. It is also, Breton, you also know that with your check that celestials have a big aversion to this. In the same way that holy weapons smite the undead, example, blood silver sickens celestial presences. And like those that would not normally be afflicted by diseases, such as Devas, Solas, etc.,
Paladins
are often feel poisoned by weapons made of this.
Ruby is gonna melt it into her hands and just turn it to slag and drop it on the ground.
It doesn't melt.
My heat bends anything. The fuck?
To be fair, I would be impressed if you could, because the temperature you would need to melt fucking metal like that would be...
Nope,
Like-
nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Alright.
This is forged in literal hell.
Yeah. We need to get this away from everything.
Yes.
Alright then. One moment. Let's try this instead.
Elwyn speaks. I wonder if there is another coin in the brazier outside.
I did
What
get a
book you
faint hit of magical energy from that brazier.
Yeah.
And the Divine Sense did pick up very strong fiendish presence on this. It might be worth just detecting evil and good anywhere we can find in the entire temple to see how much of this we can find.
I agree.
Okay.
We have enough of it between us three that will cover the whole thing.
Sure.
Well, I'll say Divine Sense doesn't go through cover, but I'm saying if we just have, I didn't prepare detect evil and good today because I didn't think that'd be something that'd be super.
I did.
But that will let you detect it, and that detect evil and good penetrates barrier, so it can actually sense through walls, through cover, through caskets, so on and so forth.
Yeah. As a note as well, there's like this is the counter like metal to what is known as Elysian gold, so it's blood silver, Elysian gold. It's like the heaven and hell metals.
Sure.
Actually, seeing
which
it
is
is
inferior to
wild. Yeah, all of it, which is everything is below the cosmos. At least in my naming structure.
Our
Right,
cows
well-
were killed for this stuff.
Yeah. Breton's going to very carefully also close the sarcophagus. He's not going to leave that open.
I'm going to roll quickly for Elwyn. The bones of the saint have been taken before you closed it.
Yeah, it was empty. The protection it was offering to this place was removed.
Removed, corrupted. This definitely is leading me to believe that there is entities, or an entity that is doing, or is the leading cause of all of this. There is no way that this is happening without interference.
So we're looking for somebody of a fiendish or infernal heritage or abyssal heritage that can spread a plague. That does narrow down our suspects a little bit.
If they're writing in abyssal, I think we're looking at a demon, not a devil.
Yeah, that would track. However, it is not unheard of that devils do things to frame
Deception
demons.
lies. Ruby will raise a hand and she'll say out loud, Excuse me. A plague takes hold, healers struggle to help, but many will perish. This shadow has a deceptive intention, tightening the knot of fate as people suffer, leading to another seal's breaking.
What seal would break in this case? Like what? Which?
The saint.
The Chevalier Argent. They are protecting a seal. If they are out...
What?
We need to get to him.
What's the seal that he has again?
The Blade of Equilibrium. It's in multiple pieces, but one of them was held by
It used to
the
be
Chevalier.
Yeah, it used to be part of the hero's sword.
We need to get to him soon. If he is at risk, or the Blade of Equilibrium is at risk, and this curse directly targets the divine, we need to get to it fast.
If he is roaming the land, I do not know where to begin.
Can we use magic to locate him? I don't have anything of that type, but
I've met him, and as has Breton.
No, you haven't.
Who did we meet? The martyred guy.
Yeah, you met the living saint, who is like the head of the church here. The Chevalier
Oh, it's
Argent...
not the,
No,
not
no,
the
no.
same guy.
No, the
you met
Chevalier
the
Argent...
Pope. This guy's fucking Jesus.
Yeah, essentially. That's
Okay.
a great way of saying it.
Okay.
Essentially, Jesus is risen. He's roaming the land again. Help! that's kind of the... Jesus is coming. Look busy.
Would the Chevalier Argent be trying to reforge the seal in order to solve the curse? Is that something the Blade of Equilibrium would be capable of if it was reforged?
Possibly. I do not know of the divine powers of the hero, but or it could be a case of whatever is causing this plague has stolen it, and he's chasing.
Locate object. I can't locate person or creature.
Soul could, I cannot.
If they even count as such. They are a divine entity.
Last we heard, the portion of that blade should have been in Javelou. But this plague is somewhat far removed from that.
Gavalou is less afflicted than more rural areas because of, even during the war, it kept a high amount of those who could combat things. So it's hasn't gotten us out of hand. Things kind of seem like every other day, if you know what I mean.
If we could take what we know, we might be able to deduce a pattern or a path that we can follow. These things are not coming out of nowhere. We know that it's demonic in nature. We know that it's poison-based. With that knowledge, we might be able to find out who is behind it, and that might help us track them down. I can't imagine that there are too many demons versed in magical maladies. I can only think of, what, 2? Who among the betrayers might be a part of this? What was it? I keep thinking Stygia, but that's not correct.
Stygia's infernal.
But
I know who you're thinking of. You're thinking of Stygiana is the goddess of poison, blight, and toxicity.
yes, that's part of it.
Dum dum ba la bum bum.
But no, this is more maddening than anything else. But it. DM, I'm going off a lark here, and this may be entirely incorrect. In the laws of chaos theory, even chaos must subscribe to a pattern from time to time. Given, yeah, I know. basically what the symbology looks to be chaotic. The words are chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Is the pattern for which they are displayed chaotic? Like if I were to take all of these words together and put them on another wall, would they mirror each other? Or
I see what you're. I see what you're putting. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Give me an investigation or an arcana check.
I'll gladly do arcana before I do investigation.
I thought you might say that. So I offered you a...
Yeah, we all fucking suck at investigating.
Can I use a reroll on that one?
Do you have a reroll?
I have 1.
Get your sorcery points.
I can do Font of Inspiration. It's true.
You also still have Favored by the Gods, which is where you can add 2d4.
I guess I'll add 2d4 to the 12.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god.
So 17. Okay. So the thing that you notice as you begin to map it out a bit more, the words aren't following and the symbols aren't following it's not like written text where it's like following a line. It's not like reading a book. There's a flow to them. And as you begin to connect the lines, it's like all the symbols around the monastery connect and form a pathway. It's like a snaking pattern in the blood.
This is not true chaos. This is somebody mimicking chaos. There is intent behind this.
There is intent behind it.
Deception is part of the prophecy. Said deception. They're trying to blame it on demons when it's not.
Yes.
Oh shit! That could mean anything. It could be the dragons. It could be devils trying to blame their misdeeds on demons. It could be.
Let's go with cultists for now. We know that for sure. But we have learned a little bit more about this.
With this text, you said it's all doing a snaking pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Does that snaking pattern, if one was to zoom out and see the symbols not as symbols but as just lines, does that snaking pattern make a symbol?
Give me an investigation check.
Balls.
Because this is requiring you to go all over a monastery. It's not just this room. It's outside. It's in all the halls.
I'm probably going to be using a luck on this. We're going to use a luck on this. Motherfucker.
Oh, our luck went away, guys. We overextended its use.
Did we say I can use more than one luck on a single dice or no?
You can burn as many as you want because that's just...
Alright, let's go.
That's tools that you no longer have and more things that I can fuck you with.
Fucking one more time.
Oh my god.
I will take the 11.
Okay, with an 11. You follow these pathways and it's definitely, there's kind of like a definite start and finish to it. Like if you started or ended at the courtyard, like the pathway so if you went around all of the walls that it's like there's layering on, it's like a snaking pathway throughout the building. Sometimes the symbology goes onto the floor, sometimes it remains on the walls. But it's like it's trying to guide you around. Give you a tour. Whether if it's of the building or if it's mimicking something else. It's hard to say.
I'm going to go on the tour. I'm going to follow it the whole way.
Okay.
Keeping my eyes
Breton, can you give me a general investigation
my
for
eyes
like
don't
the
work.
group as to finding these blood silver pieces?
Okay. 4. We don't investigate, Midge. It's not. It's literally something we have no proficiency in.
Yeah, not anymore,
missed it.
sadly. You know what? Because Elwyn's with you, I'm going to give you advantage. So,
What's Elwyn's freaking intelligence? Out of curiosity.
so he's trained in investigation, so it's actually pretty
Motherfucker.
good.
Elwyn, go do this and this for us, please. You know, work it out.
It's 14.
Is it not true that the followers of Null favor corrupting houses of the dead and final resting places?
Yes. That's something that they do, yes.
And I did get a whiff of necromantic magic from the brazier.
And would explain why those who die or perish or were not burned come back as undead.
He's gone.
He's gone, but gods don't really die. The magic in their essence retains itself. Somebody else can.
Sorry. After spending some time, you find 17 pieces of blood silver.
That's a number. Isn't 17 like a really a special number for like evil? I've
If it is.
Assuming we found all of them.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm. If you add all the first 4 prime numbers together, it equals 17, and some weird real-life culty people decided that would make it like evil.
Okay. You were saying, Ruby.
Well, sure.
Nothing of import, I presume, but I think we're dealing with cultists of Null.
Okay.
Not so much. This doesn't. The modus operandi does not speak of dragon. The dragons sneak in, turn, shapeshift, and then blow it the fuck up. That kind of writes out those guys. This doesn't smell like Valymr. This does not smell like Aurukaz or Infernal. No. I think we're dealing with cultists, probably of Null, given what their habits are.
Arakaz had the Shroud of Null. So while no, it doesn't smell like Arakaz, Arakaz was somehow tied up with Null in that way.
That I believe.
And
But
also just like, now that you're saying Null, those poor souls we met, the bleeding from the eyes, rubbing their hands together, red hands, that looks like Null.
I haven't seen the skeleton motifs yet, but evidence all points to
Red
it so
hands,
far.
though.
Either way, that's my best guess so far. Which means that if we're dealing with cultists of Null, they could be anybody and anywhere. But we do know that one of them specifically travels in the ethereal plane. So, she'll look to Elwyn at this point. I don't know who to tell about that specifically, but if there is a way to get the word out to keep an eye out for travelers who can travel in the plane between planes, and let the mages of whoever or the clerics of whoever know, that might help stop the spread a little bit. To also keep an eye out for these coins in places that might have been desanctified. We can't attack the cause yet, but we can address the symptoms.
Absolutely, I completely agree.
See? You did teach me something.
His stoic, grizzled face smiles. I think Breton is a far better teacher than I ever was. You are...
Oh, you are giving me a lot of credit that I do not deserve.
Oh no, he's taught me quite a few things.
I didn't need that. I did not need that. Stop. You made it weird. You made it weird. You made it weird. Ah.
I need mind bleach!
I am going to set off to the capital. I must report to the High King what has been found and help get the word out. You should continue the hunt. We shouldn't lose days on this. It is better that I try to find you again.
Well, this will help you. And she will show him the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Inscribe the sequence. And you will be able to get to me quickly.
I will, yeah. I adieu. Good luck,
She'll
everybody.
give him a hug.
Oh. He does that thing of like, he not with the arms round, but he does that thing of like, he's like, I'm being hugged, and I don't want to, I'm not going to
Help.
It's more the fact of like, it's like, he could hug, but he doesn't. So it's just kind of like arms like gravitated behind, but it's also like, yeah, I'm not going. Yeah, it's just still a little bit weird for me that, he shakes your hand, Valymr. It's like,
It's an honor.
Good to meet you. And then Breton, he kind of, he like hand clasps you and like hand on the shoulder.
Handshake.
It's like that, and then like a short like hand on the pauldron. You're like, and he says to you. He says to you in Fionian, I believe you have what it takes to see this through. All of this. And you are every piece of the knight that I hoped you'd ever be.
Feel like I am chasing shadows cast by lights that cast no light, but here I am chasing after yet another pipe dream that somebody else has laid forth for me ages before I was born, and with which no way I was ever expected to do.
Sometimes the quest is a murky path, but it is the faith in the faith of the, it is in the faith of the Chevalion that we follow that path to its end. In glory, in bitterness, in success, in failure, but I have good faith in your path. And with that, he like really quickly like rushes off, and you see him like at the end of the monastery, like he hard whistles, and his found steed returns. The warhorse returns, but this time the warhorse has got like eagle-like wings. He's essentially called a greater steed, and he's like formed the greater steed, and it's just, and then you see him just take up and go.
You know, I could have teleported him there.
Yeah, you could have. You've got your spell slot, but he just...
She just kind of shrugs at that.
You guys might need it. Like, he just went. He was like, "Nah, mission. I have a mission."
It's not too far away. Day or so.
Yeah,
Right.
Flying as well. It's probably what, 4 days hard ride, 2 days hard fly. That's fine for him.
Where do we go next?
It's a really good question.
Somewhere to
We
get
have-
rid of these coins, maybe. I don't want to keep them on us. They make us vulnerable to poison, disease. We can't keep them on us.
We can't just bury them somewhere that's consecrated because it'll destroy the consecration.
Any way that we can throw them in a different plane?
We could disintegrate them.
that's something you can do, then yeah, I don't know how these are.
She'll shrug. I've never tried it before. Wait, no, Midge, let me change my disintegrate to fire and they're immune to fire. That won't work.
The immediate turnaround on that aesthetic decision.
No.
Like, we knew there was a possibility that would come back to bite you in the ass. The expediency that which that has come back
Better
to
idea.
bite you in the ass.
Breton, she will lay the coins out on like a nearby stone for him. Then she'll walk over to him and cast Holy Weapon. Except her holy fire is not Soul's blue, it's kind of a golden red light. Smash. Just try it.
I'm not opposed. I don't know if a sword is the best means to do that.
Got a hammer?
I will give him the ancient warhammer of Caphriel.
That works too. We could say I did that holy weapon on that instead.
A divine weapon being blessed by... Yeah, that'll do.
It's one of the mithril ones, wasn't it? From the chamber. It's not Caphriel's because I was gonna.
But it was
from the Order of
temple.
Caphriel in the monastery in the Shattered
It's
Shields.
not Caphriel's specific weapon.
Yes.
I thought her specific weapon was the glaive, so I was like, wait a second, that doesn't...
She used both.
She actually had, she has a glaive as I mean, but she also had 2 warhammers. That was her shit.
Yeah. The warhammer is like the gavel.
Yeah.
She's like the whole judge thing.
Yep.
Smash!
It's judge, jury, executioner.
Alright, weapons set up. Brett will proceed to start trying to destroy these pieces of blood silver.
Yeah, so this is a +1 warhammer. So go
Holy weapon on it.
with holy weapon on it. So make an attack roll.
D20 plus 11 probably for
I'm
you.
also going to give it plus 1d4 radiant with frickin' I saw it before.
Is
I
it ready
can't
weapon?
I can give myself 2d8. I can use Spirit Shroud to give myself 2d8, which is just an easier way to do it because that way you don't have to worry about casting a holy weapon on me. So that's the holy weapon. I can just swing Ensign because Ensign is a +1 weapon, so it has the same bonuses. It's just bludgeoning instead of slashing.
Mm-hmm.
Crusader's Mantle, you do 1d4 extra radiant damage with weapon attacks.
Okay. So that is a
There's a 28 hit.
it's 28
So where
plus.
where are you putting the coins to get? Like, how set this up for me before are we like putting it out on the altar? Some sort of hard surface
That
on the floor?
would be No. Maybe
Okay.
on a rock outside?
Like I'm gonna hit this thing so fucking hard, it's just gonna go into the fucking rock.
Okay, so say you put them on the base of the statue in the courtyard, because that's probably a wider flat surface than anything.
Is there like a smithing anvil anywhere around here? That'd probably be like the sturdiest material to use. Even if it's just for like
Actually,
a
no,
horseshoe.
there
Or
probably
like
would
that.
there would be a shoeing anvil. You're probably right. Yeah, you can find a light anvil.
That would be what Breck would recommend, because that's probably
Okay.
gonna be the sturdiest thing you find
Yeah.
around here to smash
Okay.
something into.
Okay, and you pile those 17 pieces of blood silver on there, and holier than thou mace, lay the smack down on it. You just dong ring, and the radiant energy hits this blood silver, and it all ignites in a rapturous flame that smells of pure sulfur, and the metal screams. It's not even like it's not like a campfire flame. It is like turning on a butane torch. It's like pillar of flame off of these, like burning scar leaves up the wall of this anvil is next to, like instantly, like Breton, you're like sort of thrown back, and you just hear the screams of people in the flame.
What do I see with true sight?
You see the souls of the damned leaving the coins. And like writhing and screaming in pain as they burn through. And then seconds later, as the fire leaps out, it's ignited again. Sorry, extinguished again. Sorry, got my words flipped. So it's like, burning pillar of fire, light down. It's like a pirate. They are shattered.
I guess they weren't immune to fire.
Shut up. Radiant's not fire.
And there's now like an amalgamated sludge. And you notice as well, the anvil is now dripping with blood. And it is just silver as well. It's like forged, like a forged clump of silver.
This was made from, what, steel and silver mixed together? And
So-
now we've just put the blood silver into the steel anvil?
It's destroyed.
It's been destroyed. But the actual description of blood silver, just because I like how I crafted it. You guys didn't really get the role, but just as the description, it is forged over brimstone in the fires of the 9 hells, and then the metal alloy is cooled in the river Styx.
I was say the river Styx is used to cool it, and that's what traps the souls inside.
Yeah.
So we have released those souls.
Yeah, they were suffering, but they are free now. Whether or not they go anywhere or they are in oblivion, either way. But one might argue those are both preferable to the other alternative.
Yeah.
So seeing that, and there's just a moment where seeing that blood drip, and Breton just kind of looks at it and for a moment thinks, is it the rosaries? Are they making the rosaries out of blood silver? Is that what they're using to spread this?
Don't know. We'd have to go back and check.
Because almost everyone who was infected with it in some form or fashion, they were holding their hands and gripping it around the prayer beads.
I don't know. We'd have to go back and check.
We need to go back and check.
Hold on!
Here, take this fucking pack!
We don't need to teleport! We can get there in like a few hours!
It's not even that. It's
already
about
midnight.
It's a maximum 2 hours away. But okay. You teleported. You teleported. You did have the pebble, yes.
We do have the pebble, so
We
we can't
do
get
have
there,
a pebble.
right?
Yeah.
Do we have the 7th level spell slot? That I don't think we have.
Yes, you do.
Well,
Because
I
you've
think
slept.
we were gonna do-
You slept at the
We slept at
rosary,
the inn after we teleported. Okay.
which was called the rosaries.
Well, that's a fucking...
The foreshadowing.
If that was actually foreshadowing, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, there it checks out.
No, Ruby's not even... we're not walking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Roll me a
I just wanna-
D100 just for the sake of fun.
I just want to point out as well, this is what Null looks like in the god thing, and it kind of
That'd be
looks
great.
like his hands are gripping the thing and the blood in the middle.
If that's the randomness roll, then I succeeded.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
53.
But boom. And
Undead!
yeah, you see a slightly different scene than what was here before. You see 2 monks seeming to perform a ritual on the shrine, the roadside shrine. You hear the sounds of shovels as you think some digging is going on nearby, and you find and you also see the outline of that the Archknight of the cathedral, like directing something. Some
Yeah,
people.
Ruby's walking over quickly. Hold on.
Mage hand to go and get the.
I'm sure they're all
rosary from
shrouded up.
corpses.
They're all shrouded up and half buried, so I don't know if Mage Hand will be able to get to that.
I did not. I
Very unexpected. We have a thing to check before you bury the bodies. Give me just 5 minutes.
Yes, we got here. It was too late. One of them was already turned.
That's fine. Well, it's not
We
fine. but-
understand.
Turned into undead.
Yes, we believe so. It was a.
Why are you burying them if they're undead?
Oh no, we're digging a.
Fire pit.
Okay. I need to see one of their rosaries.
The thing they're all clasping between
they were
their
clasping-
hands.
I know what he like pulls out from under his plate, like from around
She'll
his neck.
grab
Yes.
it real quick and
No. He's
take a
just
look at
showing
it.
his. Those are mine. Let me. Julian. Bring-
Don't touch them.
Just uncover it, and then the mage hand is going to start floating towards it.
Uncover one of them, and you see the. Gonna roll. Uncovered is the woman that grabbed Breton's hand earlier, but her face is like so sunken and shallow. It's like all the muscle matter in her face has wept away, and it's just like skin over skeleton.
Yep.
And they unwrap it slightly, and the mage hand goes in and he picks up these rosaries, and it seems to be a cluster of wooden rosary beads, with a like. They seem to be like it's wooden rosary beads, but where they've been pushed so hard, like even the perfect wooden circles are like cracking and malformed and rubbed away, almost like an eraser, like where you've been like
Sure.
where it deforms. And then like there's some of them have like in between they have like little metal symbols of whatever, of various aspects of the faith.
Are any of
Detect
them
magic.
Yeah.
Detect magic.
Because if these coins were the ones giving off the necromantic
They were
energy,
slightly,
were they?
yes.
Divine sense would detect that as well, because they were fiendish.
Yeah.
No sign of the blood silver here.
This was a hunch that we jumped on pretty
Yeah,
immediately. It was an idea. If it turned out to
no.
be accurate, it's like, great!
If we'd flown here, they would have been burned already.
You are getting a little bit of necromantic energy from them, and
These
divine
rosary
sense
beads
did
have
give you.
necromantic.
And you see the symbols, the little things. There's a faint redness to the metal.
This is blood silver.
Blood silver.
So they're
This is
using
how
to
it's-
spread the curses.
This
It
is
is
how
used.
they're spreading it.
I'm gonna let the Arch Knight, whatever his face is called, out. Say, this plague, this curse is being spread by the rosary beads. There's blood silver in the rosaries.
Yep. And Ruby
If
is
I
gonna. Go ahead.
If I had to guess, this sickness is only spreading to people of faith, isn't it?
That is hard to tell. With the Chevalier and the regions of Narthel, it's one of those things of. It's hard to find someone who isn't of the faith.
Sure. So that is a far harder thing to get. But obviously,
it's like honestly, it's like 4% of the population are atheist in any way, or like, and then it's
But
like
if we
5% that are dedicated to a certain god. Like this whole region is like 90% Chevalier, 5% king that ever was, 3% other gods, 2% none anything, if that.
yeah.
So
Show
it's
me
like,
your rosary.
he hands it over to you.
Any necromantic thing coming off
No.
it? Yours is safe. Do not
I would hope so. This
let
has
anyone
been,
else touch it. Keep it with you and you alone. No swapping it out.
This one has been in my family for several generations. I would never.
These rosaries have blood silver in them. They make paladins susceptible to this disease.
A few weeks ago, there was a cart, a cellar. Maybe it was 2 months. not long after the war started. There was a man selling rosaries. He was doomsaying, saying that this war would be the end of all.
Where?
He came into Cormont. He's a traveling salesman.
Which way was he heading?
I will return with me to Cormont. I will ask the guard captain, see if he kept a log. I just remember seeing him because he tried to sell me some, and he was very persuasive. I almost bought some.
What did he look like?
I need to send a message to Elowin, let him know we're on a lead, and the rosaries are how they're spreading. So she's going to step off to the side and give him a 25-word message to detail that.
Yeah, sure. It was Gaunt's
Literally
long...
15 minutes after he left, there's a breakthrough!
Gaunt's long
Amateur
hair.
investigation.
Gaunt's long hair. He had a shop on the back of his cart that he also seemed to live in. Pulled by 2 horses. I would, from what I saw, I didn't sense evil from him. I said he was unusually charismatic, but nothing beyond what we know.
Often is charismatic. You wouldn't fall for it otherwise.
He had a wife with him as well. She was helping sell. That is all I can tell you.
The shop on his cart, did it have a name?
No.
You know, these shops often have...
People selling religious trinkets along the road of pilgrimage is not unusual. In fact, it stepped on. The only reason this comes to mind is the seller got angry when I wouldn't buy one after him trying for a long time. I gave him some spiel about greed, and he changed his tune, but he... what is the word? He was very forceful in his technique.
We don't know anybody like that, do we? This is new.
Doesn't ring an immediate bell.
No,
Yeah.
it does not. Listen, it's late. Why don't we pick this up early tomorrow? We'll get our bit of sleep, and we'll catch up first light.
I will, if you meet me back at the cathedral, I will ask the guard captain when I get back, give you some time to rest, come find me, and I will see what the information I have gathered from inside Cormont. See if I can get a direction, a heading, a name, anything for you to go on.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I must perform last rites.
Yeah.
He does so.
Lehman's tiny hut!
You're just gonna set up there.
If he's going to just burn these bodies, all of these rosaries having blood silver in them, they're not going to burn, and it will just sit in the ground.
We do need the rosaries to smash. Yes.
We need...
Okay.
Can you get Lucian or whoever it is that you had in the ground there? He needs to
No,
uncover the hall. I need all of the
Lucian's
rosaries.
over at the shrine. They gather up all the rosaries. And it's you look at it, and it's
I'm gonna
also
go
like
to the shrine.
it's one of those things of not every single metal piece is a blood silver. It's
Yeah, I imagine it's very much like it's used very sparingly
It's
because
like
they want to spread it as far as possible.
It's like one, and it's one of those things that the red hue to it is only subtle that it only would just about miss it.
Might not even be like 100%. It may be mixed with other alloys just to spread it as much. Because we were told this is extremely rare metal, so for it to be used so
yeah.
so like ambivalently, it's very much like they probably had like an ingot that they melted down and spread amongst like 20 ingots to use to spread as much as possible. Like we got the pure coins because that was something they were using to affect a larger area, but if they're just spreading it on rosaries.
Speaking of the coins, I'm going to go and investigate this shrine. I've still got to take magic up. Any necromantic energy? I'm looking for a coin on
You
this
find the
shrine.
coin.
And a coin.
It was like forced behind the little statuette of the Saint Augustina. Yeah.
Might just be
Does
able
this
to
have the
follow the
same writing
trail.
on it?
Oh yeah, it says 1 silver piece. This is just money, is what you're kind of getting. Is that is the script for the money piece for whatever society that you've gone for. It's give me an intelligence check, Valymr.
Oh, fuck me. I'm not good at those either.
And I would say this is going to be an advantage because
20. Finally, something comes of Valymr.
so Kensek Keep is a well-known hub for traders. Trade travels through Kensek so often, so you see coins quite a lot, and people bartering and traders, and you've spoken to merchants many times in your life. And one of the things that happens in various societies, especially from the Underdark or from deeper below, is one, for coins to have value elsewhere, a lot of people like 1 gold coin and 1 gold coin from a different nation normally have like an equivalency in weight as to get value, like in the same way that most currencies, in the modern world, it's like £1 is 1.3 euros. It's all tied to a standard of some sort. And it's even so like with, if anything comes from like the deepest parts of the Underdark, like there will always be an equivalency value. But one thing that you'll notice a lot of traders and stuff do is to test purity, etc. They'll take like a corner clipping or a chunk from the value just to, and they'll test it for. And you notice this coin is that, but you also recognize that a lot of merchants are often really curious of certain unknown designations because sometimes thieves will gather them up and melt them down into a bar of higher value and like restamp it because, for example, some nation has slightly more gold value or in their coins than is like equivalent to 1 gold piece, so it's like 1.1. So they make like a small profit, which then leads you down a tangent of what if they're using coins because that's what they can get through as the type of metal, and they're melting coins down to make the rosaries and then using bigger pieces to get through.
So they're shaving the edges off the coins to turn into these.
Because the
rosaries.
one you look at, it actually has a little nick in the corner compared to one of the other ones.
And here I was just gonna say, that's a really smart play because you know what passes hands more than anything? Currency.
It's the dollar plague. This is actually the Division universe.
This is quite literally like a silver plague,
Mm-hmm.
which is also a great name for the episode, Mitch.
Like
Mikey,
silver.
if you're watching.
Although, would that not be potentially a spoiler?
No, the title's going to be Blood Money.
There you go. Blood Money.
Yeah, that works too.
Isn't that a movie?
Blood Money. The next episode can be a silver plague.
The amount of freaking puns we make, I feel like naming it after a movie is not beyond us, and we've probably done it before already.
Most
As
likely.
long as I don't get like Leonardo DiCaprio on me for something. Oh wait, no, that's Blood Diamond.
That's Blood Diamond. Yeah. I was just going to say, I know.
That's a different curse.
That's a very different curse.
But yeah, that's
And his weird South African accent that he does for that film.
Oh, that was really awful too.
Yeah. Some of it is actually really good.
Smash
Anyway. Okay. You do it, and you grab all the little bits of the rosaries and stuff, and boom, pillar of flame again, screams of the soul. The other monks around like, oh, and then they kind of nod and it's like, so holy weapon, radiant energy will dispel this if we find this again.
He nods his head.
Sorry,
So I would
you don't have
suggest
Sacred
people
Flame on hand.
to-
Yeah,
Nope.
Sacred Flame would be way cheaper.
We don't have a cleric on hand. You discount cleric with me, but you know,
I am a cleric.
legally not a cleric.
The bodies. I know you're gonna, burn them.
Mhm.
A little bit of sacred burning in there too.
They're all being doused in holy water as we speak. You do see the bodies are sizzling. Like, sizzling in the ground, yeah.
Alright.
But okay.
Let's go to bed. To Cormont.
Sure. Are you heading to Cormont first, or are you sleeping then Cormont?
Do we actually want to go back and at least have a bed to sleep in, or if
Yeah,
you didn't want to sleep in that? We know the source of the plague. At least we very much suspect we know the source of the plague now. So that means it might be safe to actually sleep inside the city limits.
Yeah. Just don't touch any coins.
I was gonna make really mean comments about not having any coins, but I feel like that would be shame we don't need to throw.
Don't worry, it's all at the bottom of the ocean.
And it can fucking stay there.
It's probably good for that, man. Okay. As you walk back to Cormont, Breton, your weapon of warning alerts you. And that is everybody where we're going to end the episode today. So, because you can't be surprised, but we only have 10 minutes to the end, I'm not going to open a battle map now.
Let me see who it is.
No. Your weapon of warning alerts you, and you are drawn to the shape of a figure looking at you. And you just feel this deep necrosis. And we'll join next week, where we'll roll initiative. But all I've got left to do today is to say thank you to those who've joined me. I've been joined by the wonderful Bethany Rose, to DM Lake, and Lord Lambert. We're also normally joined by Kinda Odder, Commissar Roach, Ghibli Jam. We've been the Component Cast. My name is Midgeman, and we'll be back next time with more The Elendor Chronicles. Oh, and join us tomorrow for Mikey's special Savage Rifts one-shot. I'm playing a very interesting character.
I am not yet back for Tuesday, but next week should be the return of Lancer proper, and
yes,
then you should see me once more on Tuesdays.
Yes, and we'll have Roach and the normal Lancer crew. We're back with Lancer, so if you've been waiting for that hiatus to come back, that's coming back as well. So yeah, we'll see you then. Anyway, friends, I'll see you around. Bye-bye now.